Welcome to Keeping in Character. I'm Sam, I'm your DM, and this is episode 4. No name yet, because we name it after we're done recording, so you guys will know it before we will. Whether you watch it on stream, or watch it on YouTube, or listen to it on Spotify. So, we're going to recap last week to see kind of what happened, starting with Sunny over here.
So we go in to explore this other room, and of course I'm just looking anywhere for booze. I go over, I see this beautiful vat. There were no booze in there. It was just this weird, heavy, I don't know. And I kept looking around, and I was looking for other potions. I found some that were pretty gross, some that were kind of shiny. There was some books on the counter, and everybody else was kind of doing their thing. I wasn't paying attention to them, but then I heard a door open.
And that is when Shkaba ended up messing with a skull that was in the room, and it was a lever. We couldn't believe it. It opened a door. It wasn't a way out, but Jeremy got a little excited, but, you know, never lose hope. But the door opened, and there was a bunch of boxes, storage. Made our way in, and boxes were pretty tough, so we sent in Ribos. And he did good work on them. Everybody opened up a crate that had some paper and some nice ink that reminded me of my home. Taking a moment to collect myself. I had Sunny with me to console me in Sunny's way, and
You had weird stuff leaking from your face.
yeah. But then all of a sudden, Rivals crushed the last box, and then the rocks started falling, and we barely escaped with our lives.
It was scary.
It was pretty scary.
Oh, those boxes. I didn't know what was going on there, but they interrupted me in the middle of communing with my ancestors. So I just broke the boxes open just to adjust my frustration. Then we decided we're going to have to do something about that stupid molten oozy thing in the other room that was trapped. We moved that big vat to make sure I couldn't get through the door, and lo and behold, there was a room back there. Well, at least that kept Sunny busy for a while.
So many sparklies.
We put together a plan. Opened both doors with two of us at each end and juggled that thing back and forth. It was really just about as intelligent as undead, so that made it kind of fun. But that fool, Count Walgariff, he got in the fray and got his face crushed in. So I had to dispose of his body. I didn't really care much for him in life, so I didn't think about it and just buried him under a cairn.
Yeah.
And then when I got done with that, I thought we were just going to move on, and Jeremy reminded me that he was actually an elf, so
I read it in a book somewhere.
I took the time and unburied his fool corpse and took it in the other room, smashed up some crates and burned it. It did smell really good.
No, it didn't.
So after he started to burn it, we started to smell something. So we look up, and all this smoke is encasing the whole cave. So we gotta get out there quick. So we ended up finding a door where the little Uzi man was, and then we shimmied through there because there was a cave in and it's so small. So we tried to shimmy through there.
I fit.
We ended up getting through there, and we saw the mushrooms that Miss Becan was talking about. Oh, they were beautiful. So, did anybody pick any of the mushrooms out? I don't remember.
Sunny did. Yep, Sunny got 2, I believe.
Picked up some of the mushrooms.
Yeah.
Always looking for some innovation.
Yes. And then there was a ladder. There was a ladder to the top of this to get out. So we all get out of the ladder, and then as soon as we get out, we hear something, and we look, and these more little gablitos, they all come around us, and they swarm us, and when they do little balls and everything, and they look at us, and we're like, hey, we ain't doing nothing.
And I could understand what they were saying, which is really cool.
I
So-
just wanted to do away with it, but Jeremy always is the talker.
So the goblins from that area were a hunting tribe that was related to Jeremy's own tribe, but they were separate but lived in the same woods. And they were concerned because they had heard of the attack and had some survivors come to their encampments and things like that. So they were wondering if Jeremy was okay. And then they saw the flying halfling, Sunny, in the back.
Definitely not a
which
fairy.
alarmed them. And they asked Jeremy directly, is this a fae? And she says, yes. But they allowed her to leave
How could I lie?
without stopping them
I can
or
teach you
what
how.
have you. But ended up splitting and running off into the woods. the group knew that they needed to leave the area, or otherwise there might be more goblins that come by. But they needed a place to sleep for the night, or otherwise they would be exhausted the next day. So they took off and went towards the goblin, almost not quite a shanty town, but it's a coal miner area. It's not really a town. It's just kind of where they live, and they share their resources back and forth. But they made it about halfway up and stopped in part of the foothills and head up on top of a little cliff, which they ended up waiting at night and taking their long rest and kept an eye out for the goblins that came by and did see a group come up and acknowledge that there they are, and then they left. The group's not entirely sure what's happening with that, or if they're a goblin coming after them, or they're not coming after them, or what's going on. But they do know three things really. They need to get the heir to the nearest town, this is the nearest city, in order to find a cleric to keep the body fresh, so then they can extract the memories from the dead heir and keep them as pure as possible. They have 10 days to do so for a 7-day journey when this started. And number 2, they need supplies to make it there, because I don't think that anyone really has any sort of rations, what have you.
I travel this world, I am prepared.
You're prepared.
I have wine.
Which makes you prepared.
Never
how
leave home without
the
it.
both of you guys?
Probably catch
Rations?
some bugs in there or
Oh,
something.
Right.
kind of ran for my life there, so no, I'm gonna
No, not
say no.
This goblin also has enough.
I got my book.
I have books.
So how much did you have on your character sheet for day rations?
I believe I had 10 days in rations, as well. I am a proficient survivalist and can hunt some food
Perfect.
for our group.
That's why he had. Well, that's why he had the spear.
There you go.
Let's not talk
And then
about
Sorry.
we'll say with Sunny, as long as for Sunny's own
Stick it.
metabolism, as long as she
Tie it
has
back.
at least a glass of wine a day, or the equivalent of, then that will suffice.
Well, at this point, we have taken, what I have, 4 or 5 bottles of wine that
4 or 5. I know you
she
had
had.
2.
Oh,
right?
is that what I had?
Yeah,
Because
she
Miss
gave you
Pecan.
2.
Okay, so I have 2, and I had put them into my jug.
Is that what it was?
Yeah.
Cool. All right, so then you basically you have 8 days worth in that jug.
Perfect.
Jesus.
Great.
I'll finish this tonight.
Right? And it was just really funny because that's even for Sunny's very 2.5 foot tall form. All right, and then Shkaba. Do you have any rations
Used
on
to
you?
doing back and forth.
I'm gonna say no.
Gotcha. And then same for, so we've got, and then Yizgalin does have the same as Rybos.
I don't have stuff to eat, but I have stuff to find things to eat.
Perfect. And then the last thing is that in order to make this the journey into a 7-day journey, they would need horses in some capacity to make it over there. Because that's kind of what they
just fly.
define
What's
it
a
as,
horse?
especially with the dead body. Makes walking a pain in the ass.
You
So-
just drag it.
I mean, I suppose.
They're also known as ladies of the night.
So with that in mind, the party wakes up refreshed and at level 2. Yay! And everyone rolled their hit points, right? Cool.
Yes.
Sent you my
Leveled
video.
up and all that. Yes, absolutely. Which I think,
got the lucky roll.
right? The big one.
The big one.
I did not, but I also have a video if you
No.
like it.
Send that
You
to
gotta switch your
Sharice
tag,
actually,
it's
our
very
social media
important.
fair, because then she can use that for stuff.
Got it.
And yeah, if you guys end up recording it and then just send it over to her, so then that way, she can use that for whatever thing.
In
she's
the
doing.
group or Sharisa specifically?
Either way, it doesn't really matter. Yeah. Cool.
Right.
And then yeah, so you guys wake up, relaxed, refreshed, ready to go. Yezgalin puts the corpse onto her shoulder. Are we ready?
I feel my ancestors today. The spirits of Falyaminok.
It's
They give me strength.
his thing. It's just-
I will
Like
give
they
myself
feel
6
you?
temporary.
It's his thing.
there you go.
Like, I don't see them. How do they feel you? You feel them?
Do
Where
you,
are
do you
they?
Hey,
see the
like-
wind?
An aura
It's just me on the
in
side.
cases me as that happens,
Oh.
and feel like my muscles flex. Like I become more orcish looking for a brief moment, more fierce and
feral, and then I just kind of go back to normal.
I'm going to take my tiny little vial that I'm using for a cup and just dip it in the bottle. Pop back out. Okay, I'm ready.
Flip a knife in
So
the air.
you guys have to. Let's see. So how I'm going to do rations and whatnot is once your day is over. If you hadn't had rations by the time what you should have as a long rest comes up, then that's when it starts to affect you. So it's not going to be like right when you wake up, but it's going to be the night prior, if that makes sense. So
Right, and
Would have eaten
So-
when we were packing down for the night last night.
Right.
yeah, and that's kind of what I assume. So you guys are fine up until the nighttime, and then the next day after that, if you don't eat that night, then it's the next day that gets hit.
Yes,
See what I'm saying? So and this is kind of encompassing all like snacking throughout the day and stopping for here and there, that kind of deal. That way we cut a little of the tedium out, but we acknowledge that it happens. But we don't need to describe every bathroom break. That's not necessary.
Just poop in the air.
Because he's like, I kind of want to describe
Yeah,
every
why
bathroom
are
break.
we?
All right.
Oh, did you feel that? It's fairy blessings.
very, very blessing.
It's like a bird, like
Like
she
we
was
have
flying
a certain
around
encounter
and just
right
doesn't.
now.
Oh,
Well, we need to describe every.
bless you.
All right, so you are packed up and looking to leave. Now, Jeremy, you've been in these woods, but you haven't traversed them frequently. You know the general location of this area, but it's every time.
Yeah.
But don't necessarily know the precise directions through the woods. So in order to not get lost, who wants to head up looking for this place?
Jeremy,
Oh,
you know
no.
these woods?
Do, but not very well. I know that we were talking about going in the direction of Tayat Kopak.
Do you know the direction from here?
I believe it's northeast.
Roughly, yeah. And so, and based off of Jeremy's perspective, your place is more to the southwest, and then you'd go around almost like this outcropping kind of thing in order to get to the city, which would be the outcropping would be due south of you, so you'd have to go around that to get to the city, which is towards the southeast. So you guys came out of what would be a partial not a mountain range, but just a rocky outcropping. And if you would have went straight west, you would have made it to your village. But that's not where you need to go. You need to go north. And then this place that you're going to is more northeast.
Well, that's about all Jeremy knows.
Yeah,
but-
if you guys like, you could go to Jeremy's tribe, but you don't know how many people are going to be there. And if you're looking for supplies,
Jeremy's pretty much like, no, I'm not gonna go back there.
Not it.
I will give me a moment.
I'll try to get my bearings using my survival proficiency
Sure,
so that
yeah.
we can go in the direction that Jeremy's describing.
absolutely, you'll have advantage because this Goblin's going to
Yeah.
help.
I'm just gonna kick some dirt back.
I'm gonna
here.
go up to survive. So it would be
13 total.
it would be really helpful if you carry the jug, and I can hang it out in your pocket like I usually do. I'll finish. Will you carry it for me, please?
Sure.
Thank you.
And I think you made a sling for that, correct?
I did.
Yep.
But I'm still
Right.
trying
Oh
to
yeah.
get him
No,
to
yeah,
carry
for sure. No, I was just like for Shkaba's own thing. You have a sling with a moonshine jug.
Yeah.
Woo!
I was able to reinforce it, and I was able to
Fix my pocket.
fix your pocket.
Yes, and without the so more or less what I don't think you have much equipment on you as of right now, but the equipment that you have on
Yeah.
and what have you is being in the pocket, you'll be fine.
Yeah.
But once you start adding in gallons of liquid, that gets tricky. And I think we're breaking the laws of physics a little bit there, but
Yeah,
that's
it's
fine.
fine.
You're a fairy. It's
That's okay.
We're
magic
all having
happens.
fun here.
Oh, yeah.
But
Fast and
now
Furious
it's
does it
your
every
weight
year.
to carry.
Okay, yeah. So with the 13, you're able to not get lost, but it's a pretty not a sparse woods, but around the foothills, it does get a little bit more sparse. So you're able to follow that and figure. You do know that what you're going to is a coal mine, which is not going to be somewhere in high mountainous areas, but it's not going to be somewhere that's super low lying. It's going to be kind of in between. Thank you, Artifexian on YouTube, because that guy does all of my world building stuff. comes from that dude's videos every time. But yeah. So you travel off. You figure, based on what Jeremy has said, it should be about a 6-hour journey or so. Is anyone out keeping watch for bad guys? Or not necessarily bad guys, but goblins.
Yeah, come on.
All right, cool.
Always on point. for possible
Gosh.
Go ahead and give me
The
a
racism.
perception.
Oh,
Yeah.
I was just saying.
Oh,
no.
yeah.
But like, I was just saying, they're not
Oh, I
all
see what you're
bad.
saying.
No, I'm not
Right.
gonna. I'm not
Yeah.
gonna scout for them.
No,
Are you kidding
no,
me?
fuck that.
I'm
Yeah, it's
staying in
fine.
the group.
Yeah.
Chicago.
Yeah, I'll look out.
I'm in a pocket.
Give us an
There you go.
aerial view, my friend. That would be so helpful.
That's what Jeremy was
keeping an eye out, and so Shkabaz kind of go flying up for a while, and then we'll land for a little bit, and then fly around for a while, and land for a little bit. You're much faster than everyone else because of your flight,
Yeah.
and I think your mobility feet puts you. What's your speed? Like
I got
60 feet or
Yeah,
something
60
like that.
feet of fly.
Yeah, so you're twice as fast as everyone else.
You
So,
fly.
so you're gonna fly up and then whip around them and then fly back down and not lose any ground.
Let me just do this 10-mile hike here.
Right. So go ahead and give me a perception check.
Yeah.
Can you have advantage because I'm in the pocket?
Sure.
Yeah.
Yeah, that'll work.
Do it.
So
Yeah.
you're keeping an eye on spots that. So Shkaba knows that you're keeping an eye directly below him, so he doesn't have to look there. He can look further out without having to compromise, which is where he gets that advantage from.
22.
22. So you do spot a little group about 3 hours into the journey. They are following behind. Yep, just kind of keeping your trail. They seem to know where you are, and now you know where they are. So you do with that information whatever you'd like.
Okay. Well, I'm gonna swoop down the rivals and let them know there's a group behind us. They seem to be a little far behind us, and they don't seem to be doing anything right now. But
They're tracking us.
it seems like it is.
Just gone.
Maybe we should slow down a little bit and let them catch up.
Remember, Jeremy said talk first. Let Jeremy talk first, please.
You ought to speak.
I am the speaker.
That
Thank you.
might not
Rivals.
be a bad idea to just have you go talk to them now.
Not alone.
Well, no,
That last
go
group
away.
was a bit threatening. I'd rather that I'd be at your side if that's going to be the case.
I'll stay in the pocket this time, guys. Sorry about that.
But what
if you're out, just don't fly. You just, we are walking around with a corpse.
It's
So
not suspicious at all, is it?
just kind of shrugs, like I don't know.
Well, and what can Jeremy say and do in this moment? I mean, they're just walking behind us, which it is their territory, and we are foreigners in their territory.
This is a good point.
So
Maybe at least let them know that we're not here to harm anyone. We're just passing through.
I can try, but
It's up to you.
I
You
mean,
know this area more than I do.
If you want to take a break, and Ribos, if you want to come with me,
How far behind us are
Far enough away where they can still see you guys move through the underbrush, but you wouldn't be able to see them very easily. Without Shkaba being up in the air.
Yes.
they? Well, we shouldn't split up. Why don't we all just wait for them? Or we all turn around and walk in their direction. Not being stuffy or anything, would just be obvious.
I agree.
Agree?
All right, all
Yeah,
right.
okay,
Let's see what they
So
want.
Shkaba points off, and they're more southwest, and you guys are going more or less, well, they'd be more like west, and you guys are going northeast. So they're behind you, but they're more skirting through the thick of the woods rather than the outskirts of it.
Yeah.
So, yeah. So you start walking that direction, and perception checks for whoever's looking.
Keep my head in the pocket.
I'm looking, but I am
Right.
not seeing a damn
Sure, sure.
thing.
Your ancestors are you're trying to negotiate with them about not just murdering the goblins to get it over with. Just internally talking it over.
I'm going to stay in the pocket, but whilst in the pocket, I'm going to be thumbing through that book that was in Sylvan.
Sure. Which? Oh yes, that was the book of identifying Feywild foliage.
Yes.
Cool. Yeah. So that works.
Jeremy got a 16.
16. So you, as you're walking by, you don't actually see any goblins in that area after about 10 minutes of walking, which you figure now you can't see the group like where you would have been before. So you're like, well, I might have missed them. Kind of looking around.
Well, Jeremy doesn't
Everyone's
see
together,
anything.
correct? Yeah.
Say again?
I said everyone is together, correct?
Yes.
Yeah.
Yep. We're a group.
So Shkaba, start to notice, you're like, huh, nope, they were definitely here. I just don't know where they are now.
I rolled a 23 if that.
Oh, okay. Oh, sorry, my bad. I didn't realize that you rolled. Sorry.
Sorry.
Yes. So as you're looking around, you'll fly up into the air and kind of do a circle, and you do see them. They're in some trees, kind of hanging on to the side and peeking around. And then as soon as they see you, see them, they just like put their head to the tree. From what it looks like. But weirdly enough, they're wearing, it's not quite ghillie suits, but it's more or less just leaves that they look like they cut off the fresh cuttings off of some trees and then just tuck them into little bands. So, right, more or less, it looks like they're wearing like headbands and armbands and things like that. And they just
That's cool.
and hide up there, long grasses, that kind of thing. So, without viewing it from down and looking up, you'd be like, that's a tree. But now that you're seeing from the side and the goblin just hiding their face, yep.
I just look away like,
Typical.
oh my god, wherever could the goblin have gone?
Like playing hide and seek with a little kid. Just, oh no.
Where did you go?
Darn.
Hey guys, I think I found them. They're in the trees up here.
Of course.
How long has it been since we broke camp?
3 hours.
Oh, well.
No.
Give me a heads up on the hour.
Oh,
so
sorry.
I can
Yes.
refresh myself.
Cool, all right. And that would be,
Power of the fjords fills my being.
what are you casting there?
False life.
Cool, gotcha. And that's a warlock ability that you can
That's
just
it. Yeah, Eldritch
doing that one.
Invocation. I can cast at
Sweet.
will.
Sweet, yeah.
It lasts for 1 hour.
Cool.
Gotcha.
Or until I lose the 10 hit points, of course.
Sounds like a plan.
So, kind of trying to track on the time.
Oh yeah, absolutely. Yep. So yeah, this is 3 hours into the journey, and I'll let you know next time it all goes down. But instead of doing it every hour, just the next time something pops up, you
Yeah,
can have Ribos
that's
be like,
fine.
"That's the thing." Sweet.
Good deal.
Well, if they're here, we might as well introduce ourselves. And Jeremy's just going to be in Goblin. All right, come out. We know you're there.
Do you know what this
Please just come and talk to us.
You see a head poke out.
Yes, you.
Climb on part of the tree, and
a bunch of double talk?
it's no one that you recognize. You know some of the people from this tribe, but they keep to themselves quite a bit.
I know not the ones that we've saw previously. And
Correct.
Are not
Yes.
part
Yep,
of the
yep.
group? Okay.
Definitely different person. It's only
Okay.
one that comes down.
Okay.
But they climb down and they kind of they come on over, but they stick low to the ground and in between some of the bits of tall grasses and ferns, and then eventually pop out. And
All right.
these ones are the longer limbed fellas, and they seem to be a little more adept at climbing, rather than it's just a little bit different than a lot of the other tribes, but you do know that each tribe has their own uniqueness to it. And oh yeah, we have a live audience today, so hi.
Come in.
Yeah, come on in. Yeah, you're all right.
Perfect. Hi.
Vaccinated? Okay, let me come in.
Sorry about a little bit of the noise there.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, hey, there you go.
Perfect.
There you go.
Awesome. All right.
So, and then one more time on the names that we had over here. What was your name?
Bryce.
Bryce. And then how about yours?
That's Steve.
Steven? Hi. Welcome. Yeah, we've got people watching today.
Yay.
All right. So this one seems to be a bit more aged and doesn't seem very brash, if that makes sense. It looks like this is a pretty level-headed one that is coming out, while not nervous, but cautious, but still coming out with some modicum of confidence. Like,
You have nothing to worry about. Really.
you come from the tribe that was just blown away,
Oh dear.
Yes.
and now you ally yourselves with Fae
Where did you hear that from?
from our scouts. And he kind of points over at a tree, and then you see one of the guys pop their head out, like,
Well,
You
I
hear
think
me
there must have been a
rustle in your
lack
pocket.
of information because yes, yes, we do possess one, but it's mine, and I already took possession of it. So you cannot.
Yeah,
Have
go ahead and make a deception check. All right.
Oh, damn.
Yeah, that's one way to do it. Shoot.
He's mine.
I'm gonna use my inspiration.
Hey, everyone gets one inspiration that they can use whenever they want on their own character.
Did you see that just happen?
I rolled double threes.
Yay!
Yay! So, but hang on. So that's a 9.
Brutal.
That's not bad.
All
Yeah.
right. So they end up kind of glaring at you and be like, regardless, you're on territory that is not of your tribe.
Look, I
We
understand.
had treaties.
Jeremy-
Cremas to cremas.
Of course, you know I know.
So get off of our lands.
We have to go through.
I'll start walking up behind her because it sounds a little bit aggressive.
Sure.
to
Oh,
me.
yeah.
No weapon drawn or
Yep.
anything, but just
There you go.
intimidating.
Look, we have to. And still in Goblin, we have to go through. Look. This is
You
all.
take to the foothills.
This is all a part of my plan.
We have the forests. You know this. And then the foothills are the coal miners. You go to their territory.
Isn't that where we are going?
Yes.
But
Okay.
you also
We
can't
don't-
understand.
Yeah. Right. No.
this.
I.
Oh, yes. Yeah, you are correct.
But I can't, and I'm
course.
fidgeting in his pocket.
Jeremy, we do want to go there. Yes, but we just want to make it clear we're not trying to impede on your territory. But this could be good for us goblins if you let me travel with these people. Politics, you know, I can help in that regard for all of goblins. So bear with us. I'm just gonna pass through.
You see how they treat us. They slaughtered your people.
Jeremy does, and that's why I have them. You know how we don't have a lot to pull in politics.
That's fine.
but-
You just go to the foothills instead of climbing on the forest.
Okay, let us go then, and we're on our way.
He kind of turns around. And
Ah!
Jeremy, is everything okay?
Yes, they want us to go to the foothills, which is where we need to go anyways.
It'll take a little bit longer to
That's
get there,
where we're going,
but
yes.
that's how it goes.
I knew it. He pointed that
But
way,
they
so I
seem
figured that's where
to
we were going.
leave us alone
good
for now,
intuition.
but they are not happy we are in their territory, which, go figure. Goblins.
Very
I pop my head out.
Tribalists.
Yes, well, we have to be. So.
They were really crabby. What do you mean I'm yours? You don't possess me.
It's all, lost in translation. Different
No, I think I understood it quite clearly.
Goblin dialects.
I don't think that had anything
Are you
to
saying
do
that in
with
halfling or goblin?
Oh, that was abrasive.
I
but
Oh,
the-
and you are
on
still
our
in
race,
pocket,
yeah.
so yeah, I was just like,
You're
next
talking to
Yeah.
Shkabaz.
Shkabaz, yeah, I'm talking to
With
Shkabaz.
my name's like a
No, 'cause they had
or
left.
Like a tree.
Yes.
and I popped out.
Yes.
And I would just be
Oh,
speaking in common
so
to
wait,
her.
so
But I
you popped your
understand
head out?
Goblin,
Kind
yeah.
of thing.
Yeah. Jeremy's just like, don't flaunt it.
Just
It's a
saying.
good call.
Look, I'm sorry. It's just negotiation so we can get through this. I apologize.
Negotiate your possession.
All right.
Go back in the pocket.
Sonny, I'm sorry. All right, let's just go.
Last time I tried to catch the liquid dripping from your face.
Try to get my bearings real quick again and get us back on the
Sure,
right
sure.
track. A little help from Miss Gowan.
Yeah, oh yeah, absolutely.
One bumped. Right, 21.
Alrighty. Yep, you're able to stay on the right course, and in order to keep out of the forest territory, you figure you might be skirting it a little bit, but if you keep to the majority of the foothill side of these forests, you think you can cut down on how much it would impact your time going through these foothills to go up a hill and down a hill, and up a hill and down a hill. So you're able to finagle your way and be like, all right, well, I know that after this is going to be something that's going to be like a cliff face, so we're going to have to go around that. So I'm just going to go cut through the forest momentarily to get back onto the foothills. And
Not me.
using your survival prowess and Yizgalin's assistance, you're able to, instead of having it take another 50%, so it would be 4.5 hours rather than another 3 hours, it takes the regular 3 hours.
Oh, yay, look at
Yeah.
that. You guys did a good job.
Worked out pretty well.
Goblins on the running through the forest.
Which we're flying.
Yeah, we're the only ones walking.
You see my feet running, though.
All right, so I'm keeping the 10-day time limit from the time that you guys, from the time that the air died to you guys getting to the sleeping spot was 2 hours. And then from you guys slept, and now you've done another 3 hours, and then another 3 hours, so 6 total
So
to get
this
to the.
evening will be one day.
Oh man,
Yeah.
this body's getting old.
Just so you guys know, as far as I'm keeping track of that,
Okay.
you're on
Somebody got
some form of
flies.
time crunch, but you have 3 extra days of leeway. So hopefully that'll go over well. As long, provided you get horses. If you walk, it's going to be a different story.
It's pronounced Lurir.
God damn it. All right. So, as you are walking, you do end up seeing what appears to be a few almost poorly made farms as you're coming up. They have what looks like just rotted wood fences. It's more of like a postmarkers just to outline where a territory is, if that makes sense. So right on the cusp of the forest and where the foothills are, there's sticks that start to just appear here and there. It looks like this is where the true dividing line is between the two territories, which Jeremy, you're familiar with. Sometimes they get a little testy between each other, and that's how it goes.
No, this is my stick.
Bingo.
I will fly back in his pocket at any sign of
Sure.
potential.
Yeah, oh, yeah, absolutely. And then as you're coming up, Jeremy, you've heard of this a little bit, so you're able to, like, over this next bend, very likely there's going to be a goblin village of some sort. So you turn the corner and see just, they're a lot like the thatch yurts that your people have, except for they're more or less like a lean-to, and that's their home. You know, it's not anything glamorous. It's just enough to keep the rain off, kind of thing. And they're all lined up in just right next to each other. There's not a lot of space in between, and for larger families, it looks like there's just longer versions of this. And it almost appears to be like Native American long huts, kind of thing. But it's all centered around a section of the foothills which has been stamped down. There's no grass growing in that area because there's constant moving and crates and different carts that are all around, and most of them hand carts, where all of these goblins are mining out this coal, bringing it to the surface, and then sending that off to what would be your people, but now they don't really know what to do with it, so it's just piling up in places. Although it's only been a day, so there's just one cart sitting there waiting to go somewhere, and they're not sure where. But yeah, there's lots of goblins milling about. They appear a little more squat and paler of skin tone, but not a not a huge difference, just a little bit. And strangely enough, there's almost a little bit of a not orc quality to them, but they have these little guys,
Aw, so
little things poking out, almost like they have a big old underbite, like, but just all of them have that.
Oh, I love them.
They're all dressed in
They're little
rags
hugs.
and just what looks like hand-me-downs that turned more into patches. There's just a series of patches over and over and over, and that's just
The
how the
good
clothing
style.
goes. Yep, there is a larger house which appears to be made out of wood and stone, and but it's not quite a house, almost like a barn, very large, and takes up a big area onto a flat piece of land, which you see a lot of goblins running into it and a lot of goblins running out of it, and it appears to be maybe some sort of mess hall kind of thing. This is a
Commune place.
yeah. For your people, there is an exchange of goods and services between the people, but this seems just everyone's working together on this project, whether they like it or not. So yeah, all kinds of fun.
All right. Well, we're here.
And you do see there are a pair that are running out with what appear to be spears of. They are proper spears, but they look like they're not. Ribos, you noticed this specifically. They're not being held properly. They're just like dragging it behind them. You know what I mean? Like it like gets under your skin, or like having it over their shoulder, and it's like jabbing towards their friend's face. Like they don't really know what they're doing with it, but
Perfect.
they're trying, and come out and be like, "What?" And points
Whoa.
at actually not at you, but
Yeah.
it points at these two and just
I'm
Goblin.
reading.
I would not
I-
advise you to
Study.
point that at me.
What?
You obviously don't know how to use it.
Ribos.
What?
Ribos. Remember,
And he
speaker,
looks and he
speaker.
goes, "No halfling.
I'm not a halfling.
No halfling."
He does not speak halfling. In Goblin. Hello, Jeremy, the speaker from Thorir.
Oh,
Ferrari.
oh. Yeah, he kind of puts down the spear and goes,
Ferrari?
"Come here."
Yes,
And,
yes,
yeah,
yes.
he gives you a big hug and be like, "I'm so sorry. There are some people from Terrari.
Some people made it? There are-
Some.
There are
And he
goblins from Tulari
starts
here.
walking away,
That is your village,
leaving his
yes.
friend.
Yes, yes. Some of my people survived.
They seem to know you here.
Goblin came
And also-
or close.
Walked away.
Yeah,
But and hadn't looked back to see if you guys were following. Just
we should follow
Right.
that.
Spear.
this sounds
They're
like
more handsome than other goblins I've seen.
Jeremy kind of looks.
What you trying to say?
the hell, man.
Yeah. Well, you know, to
They're
each
pretty
their own.
handsome for goblins.
They are very nice, squat little fellows.
They do have that weird jaw
My-
thing. Anyways, yes, we should follow them now.
He's going to puts a hand on Ribos' shoulder and just pats him like this.
You can still hear me in the pocket, right?
Yes.
You hear rude.
Yes, it's almost like you're talking with just a mask on. Everyone's
Yeah.
familiar with that now.
Understood.
All right, so you follow them in. They are quite a bit of ways, so you have to almost jog to catch up with them. And everyone gives you a very wide berth. There's not a lot of. These ones seem very friendly to you, but then for everyone else, they're just okay. And like
Don't kill me.
kind of. There's a little bit of that, a little bit of don't kill me, and a little bit of fascination of outsiders. So it's like watching a dangerous animal from far away, where you're like, I can't stop, but I don't want to get any closer to that thing. That
Going
kind
to
of
admire you from
Right.
afar.
bingo.
Just go home.
Yep.
Bloof your feathers.
That's called stalking.
So they lead you actually to the large barn-looking thing, but behind that there seems to be almost like cloth tents set up, and by tents I mean just it's a stick propped up by more sticks, holding up a
Hey,
canvas of
that
some
is
sort.
a tent.
Yep.
Yeah, it just
I've ever seen.
Definition.
it's almost like somebody is hanging a sheet on top of a clothesline, and they're like, "There's your home. Good luck." You know.
You
But
ain't
there's
complaining.
a couple of those, and you see some goblins milling about. Some of them injured, some of them not. But you do recognize a few of them. Some from just around town for you, and you might not know them by name, but you do see somebody that you do recognize. It is from what you remember, some form of fourth cousin. You know, like you know their parents' parents, or at least by name, kind of thing, and you're somehow related to them, but you're not entirely sure. Their name escapes you, but it's go ahead and make an intelligence to try and recall that a little bit.
16.
So yeah, you end up. You're like, Lyra, something like that. You're not entirely. You're
Right. La 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 la.
you're in that area.
Lele.
As soon as Jeremy sees them and sees that one in particular, Lyra? Lila?
She looks up, and you do see. You didn't notice it before because it was just kind of washing part of herself with a cloth. Just kind of pulled up the pant leg and is just scrubbing out part of her leg, and then looks up and she goes and like goes to wave with her left hand, and there's a stump.
Oh,
Jeremy,
And she just like pulls it back down and then waves with the other hand.
It's like super happy and excited, and then all of a sudden her face drops, realizing again
Right.
that the
Oh, crap.
yeah, terrible things that happen. So,
You're alive.
yes, Jeremy, I know we don't usually talk very
Lyra.
much. Lyra,
Stump.
yes, of course. I'm so happy you made it out alive. In Goblin, I
Oh, yeah.
started speaking in Goblin tongue because
speaking with
For
goblins.
sure, absolutely. And
much
honestly,
too
most of
much.
the goblins, your tribe had a bit more of the halfling and elvish that permeated some of the tribe. But these people, the ones that are coal mining, they're goblin only. And weirdly enough, they have their own mini dialect. It's not. It's like a slang. It's like a heavy slang, but that's just how goblins are.
Right.
How the goblin language changes over the country is just kind of blends from a super southern accent to a to a
Right.
Cajun thing, and then to a and then to this and then to that.
It's like Texas to Louisiana,
Yeah.
to Alabama to Florida.
But like
Yeah.
worse, you know, what I mean? Just like way
terrible.
more intense kind
Yeah.
of thing. So it hits a certain point where you're like, I don't understand what word that means, and then they'll say a different word and be like, oh, gotcha, all right,
That
now
one
I
makes
get it.
sense. Yeah.
So you kind of speak the language, but
Well, Lyra, I'm rude. Let me introduce my friends and transition to halfling.
Mhm.
And everyone, this is my cousin Lyra. She is from tribe. My
Tribe.
tribe.
she speaks in halfling to you all. Hello.
Hello.
Wave at her with the hand that she
What are you
doesn't
doing
have.
here?
Well,
With-
I-
Gestures.
I went to get help for Ferrari, but I wound up in a situation and started coming this way, but
What's that? And then she points at the dead person on his gown's arm.
casualties, sadly, along the way. Friends of
flag.
theirs.
Sorry for your loss.
Yes, it's very, very
That's so right,
sad.
all of you.
Condolences are accepted. Thank you very much.
We are
They were close.
Do you
so-
I
need
did not know that.
Um,
I see.
a tent?
to me.
And she
Yes.
kind of gestures over.
A
and-
place to stay in. Have you met with Krema?
If it wasn't
Oh.
for this god, I never devoted to
Come here.
Sit back.
And she kind of leads Jeremy off for a moment and almost puts up a hand to you guys like, stand back. It's like, Jeremy, I know the crema was your grandmother, correct?
Yes.
Did she find a cousin?
Did she?
I'm sorry for your loss, but the crema's hut was burned to the ground
No.
with, I think, most inside. They had blocked the doorway. And she just kind of,
And the last thing I said to Krema, so mean, rude, disrespectful. But it's gone. They're gone. I assumed everyone was gone. So I'm happy you're alive. I mean, I'm assuming.
many left. Anyone outside survived. Some tried to help Crema, and she just kind of gestures at her hand, and we paid the price.
Jeremy is so sorry.
You didn't do anything.
Well, Jeremy's going to fix this for good, for all of goblins. With these people that I have. They're
We kept too close to the edge. It's our fault. We should have stayed
No.
inward like these tribes.
no, absolutely not. This is not our fault. It's always our fault, and it's not anymore.
And we don't own the land unless we find a new Crema. Did your mother make it?
I didn't think anybody made it, so I have no idea.
If your mother made it, she runs the tribe now.
Well,
If she didn't,
I understand, but I'm here to rebuild, and I will rebuild Terrari. But I have business, so hopefully all of Goblin kind can benefit. So hear me out. These are good people. We need to get them where they need to go so that they can help us in the long run. So if you anybody in town here that is
thanks for watching.
able to possibly connect us with the inners of this tribe.
I can introduce you to leaders, but what do you need?
Well, a cart would be nice.
They have carts. I don't
Right.
know if they.
Yeah, right. We'll get
We need
there.
something to pull the cart.
Right now they are off to the side, kind of by themselves. And actually, speaking
Sorry.
of
Speaking.
the three of you guys, what are you all doing
I'm
by
just keeping
by
an
your?
eye on Jeremy.
They've kind of more or less
Shuffling.
brought
thumbs
her
here.
to the other side of a tent and is now talking in a hushed tone. Sunny, if you're in the pocket, correct?
Yep, I had. What's going
You can make a perception with disadvantage to try and overhear what's going on over here, if you'd like.
I'm gonna cut a hole in this pocket one of these days.
Hello.
A little flap.
Right? How about you guys? You just keeping an eye?
Yeah, I won't encroach on the situation, but I will watch
Sure.
closely.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
And
Try to read
it
body
seems-
language and things.
Yeah. Go ahead and make an insight check.
I can't understand what they're saying, correct? So I'm
Correct.
just gonna like
Unless you speak Goblin.
mingle around.
Sure, sure.
with the other goblins.
So as you're
How
trying
you
to listen
doing?
in, Shkaba's like wandering around.
That's solid 12 for me. And
Gotcha.
I do speak Goblin.
You catch a few words here and there. You hear the word crema, which you're familiar with. You hear sorry a lot. And Jeremy saying something along the lines of like protecting, or not protecting, but like rebuilding, or I'll be back kind of thing. Rybos, what'd you get?
An 8.
8. You're sure it's non-violent, but you're not sure past that. Jeremy seems upset, but I mean, this is an upsetting situation.
Absolutely. I'm gonna just glance around and then see if I can see any of those spears because they look like they were pretty decent. And then I could
Sure.
use a new one.
If
Oh, yeah,
used
yeah,
correctly,
there's
yeah.
actually the two that led you over here. They're both standing there, just kind of like picking their ears, and
Cute.
the spears are like they're holding them, but they're holding them touching the ground, kind of thing.
I'll walk
Just-
over to them.
And check out the decor.
Halfling? Speak halfling?
No half.
Weapon.
He jumps back and he's like,
I like try to be calm.
right.
Like I'll reach and pull out my what is
Sure,
now
sure.
a quarterstaff.
And you're like,
Like
Trade? Trade.
and he goes like
Like-
this at you.
like I'll like try to hand it to him and open my other hand to like trade.
Go ahead and make a persuasion with disadvantage.
You got
Hot roller.
Oh, 16 and a 19. Not too bad.
Yeah,
So 16, that gives me a 19 total.
He ends up handing it to you and then taking the other one and like,
You can smell like the char
Oh,
where
yeah.
I had fire hardened it
Yep.
before, and then whatever weirdness is going on because the tip got burned off. But it was
and he kind of like,
like,
Make the bonk. There you go.
I like gesture toward the head. Yeah.
right.
Like,
He just shrugs to the other one and just
like also show like you could use it as a walking stick.
sure. he kind of like, he didn't seem pleased with the trade. He just kind of,
Accepted it.
Okay.
I'll reach
Don't
into
kill
my
me. Don't
pouch.
kill me. Don't kill me.
kind of.
Don't kill me.
There's a little bit of that. So he's
Yeah.
like, I don't want to argue with this guy, but like, I got ripped off. I don't know why I did
I'll
that.
pull out a silver piece.
Sure. And he's
and
like,
just flip it to him.
grabs it, and the other one tries to fight him a little bit over it, kind of thing. And then
Then I'll,
he's
then
kind
I'll
of
walk
like,
back to.
right,
Oscar.
yeah.
Use the
Yeah.
stick on the dude.
there you go.
Rather
Yeah, so
practice.
he seems a lot more pleased with the trade now. But that worked out. So,
And I had not
Oh, go ahead.
used my hex weapon ability after the long rest.
Sure.
So now that I have the spear, I'm
Right.
gonna just like grip it, and
Sure.
like a bit of my energy will pulse through it.
There you go.
Stow it back.
one goblin spear.
Ooh.
Is it the same
Fancy.
size?
Yeah, I was like, is it smaller? Like, is it like kind of like a mini
It,
spear?
for him, it was almost like a pike kind of thing,
Okay.
where it was more for him to
Oh,
hold and
distance.
just
Oh,
point
dear,
at
that's a
something.
true
Yeah. Yep. And then for Rybos, it's
Normal.
chuck it at something.
Nice.
Yeah.
Perfect.
Yep. All right. And Shkaba, are you going anywhere, doing anything in particular?
I'm checking out this lovely tent here that they have. You know,
Sure.
admiring
There's like
The-
a series of these tents, and
Yeah.
it's a shanty town kind of
admiring
thing. It's
the
a refugee-
architecture.
yeah.
You know, these dirt patches. Oh, beautiful.
That's so beautiful.
There you go. There are a few goblins that are just like peeking around corners and staring at you.
Mostly
'cause-
showing off my feathers.
Sure. Oh yeah.
Tell me what
Anytime
you
you move too
see.
quick, they duck. Like,
Scatter.
right? Yep. But it's definitely an interesting day for them.
Pluck
Can
a
you-
feather, leave it on the ground,
can you
and
kind
just
of,
walk
like,
away.
Oh yeah. Somebody will pick it up and be like,
Everything as you're walking around, like you're talking to yourself, but really you're telling me what's going on.
Yeah, he should.
I would like
Oh,
that.
yeah. Nice.
I would like that. I would like that.
Yeah.
And based on the so your sewing job, you got it sewed up, but there would be some like you'd be able to kind of and see a little bit out. It wouldn't be. You still have disadvantage on perceptions,
Perfect.
looking out there, but you'd be able to get the gist of what's happening.
Perfect. Turn to your left. A little bit more. Oh, perfect.
Awesome. All right, and so back to Jeremy. The where did we leave off?
Cart.
Oh yes.
Yep.
Vic, I can introduce you to the leader.
Maybe just so Jeremy knows what she's working with here. So
You might have to pay, but they
All right.
don't have much. But
sure. Understand? I mean, of course, it has to be a
you
trade.
just
I
need
mean,
just a cart.
well, if they have something to pull carts with, that would be great. But looks a little. know.
You could ask the northern tribe.
Oh.
They have the caravans, so they might have some
Oh.
horses.
Wow, very good.
Or
yes.
or the if you go to the hunters, they might have
Yeah,
the horses that from the fight.
you know how the hunters are though. They can be a little testy. But you maybe Plimbari though. You were right. Caravans. It's really what we need.
They might not have full horses, but donkey.
Anything
Maybe.
helps, really.
Donkey.
We're on a time frame, so anything helps. But yes, if you could introduce me to somebody, maybe I could acquire at least a
And
hand card for
they
now.
end up walking away, and then they come.
Okay. I'll get yell back. I'll be right back.
No, bring your friends.
Oh,
bring
they said you come. Come.
Oh,
Oh,
and
very good.
Start walking
There
into
we
the
go. We are
into
walking
the
back
barn.
into the bar.
So in the barn, there's not quite. There's tables laid out, but it's almost like they took regular tables and cut the legs off and put it on the ground. And so everyone's sitting on the ground, but they have a clean table to eat on, kind of thing. And it's just
Going to sit at
table
the
after table like this of different, either, like it looks like almost like a big spool that was cut down and put on the ground. And then there's other parts where it's just like a box and very just thrown together kind of thing. And it looks like they almost had some structure and then it got messed up because of all the refugees coming in, so they just added more stuff, not knocked that all over the place. So on the other side of the barn, there is almost there's a doorway to the back, which you guys didn't see what was behind on the other side of that barn. But then there's almost like not a bar, but a bunch of boxes set up to block off and partition an area, so then they can drop food off and from a cooking pot that's inside the barn and just hand it to people as they come up and get food. So there's almost like a small line of workers that come up, grab a bowl, and walk away and start eating.
Are they currently serving food?
Yes, and the weird thing though,
I'm gonna
all
go
of
up
these
and get
goblins,
mine.
they're bringing up their own bowls. They're like their own bowls and their own spoons if they have a spoon.
Like, I'll look around for like a bowl and utensil
Right.
as I'm walking up to get in line.
You should have a mess kit of some sort.
You would think so.
Yeah. most adventure, especially if you got like one of the adventure pack things. I think
I didn't.
almost
I
all
built
of them
my
did.
own.
Oh yeah, that happens.
Yeah,
So-
I did not
You
get
didn't
a
give
mess
a
kit.
bowl.
Rybos just cooks things on a stick.
Yeah,
that
really.
makes
Right?
sense.
There you go. So yeah. So walk on up and like don't. And she ends up not having a bowl as well, and comes up and be like, "Hey, we have food for." He's in kind of gestures to the other people, and then the goblin ladling everything out, just kind of.
Oh yes, thank you. We would love some. Please.
They ladle one out for you,
And
ladle one out for
My
your
friends.
cousin, and then they like.
very good
Just like-
people.
Cut my hands and put it out.
Well, and weirdly enough, they hand Jeremy a bowl, and they
Right.
hand the cousin a
But
bowl,
since I didn't find a bowl on my way over,
right?
yeah.
And then they like. What are these?
They are people who will help us in the long run. They are
Outsiders.
assets.
Asses.
That's what?
Something
Assets.
about the
That-
butt in the rear end.
I-
the mano.
I will work it out later.
Are you
I'm
Terrari?
gonna pick up this
Yes,
goblin.
Ferrari.
Seems
But
like
I'm
very
here
confused.
to speak.
Then you bring
I
outsiders.
usually talk about.
Well, what else am I
We
supposed
house
to do?
you, and you bring outsiders.
Who are going to help us? All goblins.
And this person is kind of a not-handed little. You're assuming old woman. Is even for goblins sometimes it's hard to tell, but is very stooped and not definitely aged, but not to the point where they're like in a venerable, like about to keel over kind of thing.
Right. And Goblin, Jeremy's gonna just say, "Now, would you like to be treated like that? Because last time I checked, goblins get treated poorly."
They slaughtered your people.
Oh, they now.
Get. And they it kind of hobbles off and goes into the other room. And
Anybody else able to serve food here?
your cousin was like,
to the pot and grab the ladle and start eating right out of the pot.
so
I
there's
was,
another attendant there that kind of like runs off.
After I have a few bites,
yeah.
I'm just like, that's good. I just wanted a little taste, and then I'll walk.
Great impression.
Your cousin's standing there like,
I can only do so much. I know. Hey, she started it, so.
I guess it's my turn now, right?
She she kind of puts the bowl on one of the tables next to the thing and like, Jeremy,
Yes,
I
know, it doesn't look great.
no, it's not that. That's Crema. She serves the food.
Of course she does. Of course she does. Alright, well,
I don't know if you'll get cards.
I can fix this. Can you
I'm-
help my friends? Give them bowls? Is that the thing you can do?
And there is a when you go around, there is a few bowls. It looks like that are kind of stashed into a corner, but they're not cleaned. So that's an option. But it looks like they had hastily carved some more for these refugees and things like that, so they all had their own. But yeah, so there's some there, and so but Ribos, you'd be able to see it once you got past the thing and started eating out of it, and you're like, oh, bowl, but it's gross. So that's up to you.
No more gross than eating right out of the pot. It's kind of
Well, here. And Jeremy's gonna set down her bowl and
I have had enough, thank you. I just wanted to try some of the local fare.
well,
It's okay, you know. It's like a forever pot stew. You know what I mean?
Oh,
It's
yeah.
just always cooking.
Oh,
But this almost appears to be a more clean pot. This is almost like a transition kind of thing. They must have a cooking apparatus back there to make the main pot, and then they just use this to bring it out to everyone else.
It's actually quite good. If you could pass on my compliments to the chef.
yeah, about the chef. That was actually Crema of this village, which means leader or, yeah, no, it wasn't great. So I got to go fix that.
I did not mean to offense my tribes. When someone comes into the village, all the food is for everyone.
And that's how it should be, but sadly there's a lot of differences we have to resolve before we get there, so.
In fact, I, in the past, have caused a bit of a disturbance by not eating on many occasions, to the point where it kind of earned me a bad reputation. So I was trying to make a good impression.
Isgan kind of shakes her head and goes, Ribos, you just shakes her head and looks up at the sky. We're sorry to have offended your people.
Well,
Jeremy.
you
I'll
are
walk
you
away
are
and
just
just
a
like,
you are offensive
That's
no
it.
matter
Doesn't
what.
matter if I
because,
eat or
you know,
don't
it's-
eat, somebody doesn't like me, pisses them off.
yeah, just like chattering.
You
blah,
see
blah,
a
blah,
few of the
blah.
goblins like pick their bowls up and just leave.
Look, goblins
Just-
can be just as racist. So you know we'll have to work on it. So it's not. You know, this might be fixable though. I think it was just a little too much too soon. I can fix this.
Talk on the grass.
And I'll walk out of the barn.
Sure.
And
Oh, yeah.
Okay.
I just go find his.
That's good.
That'll work.
Then I'll
A
do
few of the
that.
goblins that are on their way out leave faster as you come out. Just, no, and run around to wherever they're supposed to be going. But for now, while you think of a way to fix this, we'll take a break.
Think of a way to fix this. How can we fix this? Okay.
All right, so we will be back in, for those watching at home, 10 minutes. Or actually, I think I did the thing out, and it's exactly 7 minutes. It'll be 7 minutes every time.
7 minutes.
So we have to, we can stop.
It's enough time to pee, guys.
guessing every time.
Right?
Yes.
It's a fun game we play.
Yay.
Those of
Except
you
for on
watching
Spotify.
on, stream,
right?
not on stream, rather,
Yes.
but on
YouTube,
on
you can
podcast type
fast forward.
things.
However you're deciding to watch.
I'm
Spotify though will not have any break in there. It'll be basically like, all right, we'll see you later. Welcome back.
Awesome. We'll see you soon.
Bye. welcome back. So where we left off is Jeremy just pissed off the Crema where
Yeah.
they needed to
It was a
grab
group effort.
things. Yeah, yes, definitely. Ribos didn't
I think I had a
help.
big
Yeah.
part in that.
Yes, the initial aggravation, and then Ribos followed it up with a what could only be assumed as a massive disrespect.
We acted
And,
in character.
It was beautiful.
Were
Now
we
your
peeking
cousin,
in
remind me of the
character?
name that I just told you.
Name
Lyra?
drop.
Oh, Lyra.
Lee
That's what it was. Thank you.
Ira.
Yeah, yeah.
Lee Ira.
I couldn't remember which. I gave you a false one and a real one. I couldn't remember which one was which.
What's her name?
What's my
Liara.
cousin's
Lyra,
name?
right? You know how it goes. You meet a family member you haven't seen
Lyra.
in years. You're like, oh, damn it! What the hell was their name again? It's like a fourth cousin, so it's not even. It
Right.
feels like it's not related at
Laura,
that point.
Lyra,
Yeah, yeah.
Lyra, you got it.
Lyra.
Lyra.
Yep.
Leggy Lulu.
Right.
Jeremy slightly misremembered, but was close enough to be passable.
Just making it.
Yeah.
Barely.
Oh yeah. So, Lyra has now walked out of the barn and been like, I don't know if I can help you with the crema.
If she didn't finish her
I
bowl, I would like to
understand.
take that.
I should hand it to you, no
Oh,
problem.
beautiful.
You can take it. It's yours. It's okay. It's food. It's not terrible, right?
God damn it, Bill.
That's the
Birdman.
only way I can say it.
Feel free to come on in. You just got to be.
Yeah,
absolutely.
sit
Go ahead.
down
Have a
in.
seat.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
More guests,
Oh,
which
yeah.
is more than welcome, everyone. If
They
you want to
have the
show
most
up and
annoying
watch us
little
play
things you've ever
live,
We
at
encourage
Order
it.
Key.
Just make sure you stay quiet enough or we don't catch you on the mics. But honestly, it's not that big a deal even if we hear you.
All right, fourth session, 3 guests, all
Right.
in the fourth session.
It's
Come
working.
see us.
That's how
It's
it works.
working.
We all shower before the session.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
And then we have a row of chairs.
We are clean.
Sure.
Okay, so you
Just
are
not meant
now outside of the barn, I believe. Everyone had walked out. Side or-
Jeremy
Yeah.
did not.
Okay, so I
Jeremy's
know.
kind of just like, what the hell do I
Shkaba,
do?
did you leave?
Oh yeah, I finished
Yep.
and
Ribos is out.
first.
And so Jeremy, you're now by yourself. Your cousin had left, and you're like just
And Crema went
through the back.
through the back.
Yep.
All right. Jeremy's gonna go out the back and try to find her.
Okay. Yeah. So through the back door, where behind the crates where the stew was. Yep. Okay. So you open that up, and there are you see this old woman swinging a wooden not quite a paddle. It's a long wooden spoon that they use to scrape the bottom of the cauldron that they're cooking. And you see this very large cast iron monster, which is just has all kinds of drippings on the side that have just been, it's like years old that have just been burnt on. And
That's
she's
the good stuff.
climbing up on top of a makeshift stepway made out of boxes, and then it's just up at the top, almost like stirring everything around, and is taking it out and is now shaking it at people and like barking orders. And then when you walk in, you go, "You!"
Just like my crema used to make. Very good.
And comes on down and shoves the stick into somebody's hands, and he's going to, "You bring outsiders,
Crema.
and then they eat out of the. We have to.
It was a bad start.
We don't
I
have
apologize.
much.
I
We are
understand.
feeding refugees of your people."
I understand completely. I had no
Then you
idea.
bring more.
I had no idea any of my tribe survived. But I know that my grandmother would have thanked you for what you have done for my people and our people, I should say. So,
Your grandmother? Who's your grandmother?
Crema of Terrari.
Ah,
Jeremy.
I am sorry for your loss.
Of course. I'm sorry for intruding and for my,
It has been a
assets.
stressful time. We're trying to keep everyone fed.
of
And
course. No. And you're doing a great job.
we do not have many croplands, and we mostly trade our coal through your people, and now we have no way.
Oh, I know. I do apologize.
Why are
for
you
that.
back here?
I'm trying to fix this. I'm trying to. I have people who have connections to higher politics
I know people.
beyond
you know
us.
people, you know.
And they
You
might.
mean only politics. We need to be left alone.
Well, that's politics, isn't it? You would
No!
know. You would know. Grandma, you
It's
would
the
know.
opposite of politics.
Everything. is
Look, if
wrong.
we don't do anything, they'll just keep coming, and they'll ruin it eventually.
They
So,
always come.
Let's fix
This
it.
isn't the first time this has happened.
Exactly. So we need to make changes, Krama. It needs to change. And that's what I want to do.
So
with
what do you,
these
what do you,
people.
what do you, what do you, what do you
All
need
right,
from us?
I need a cart.
Like a hand cart?
Do you have
Open
anything to
barrel.
pull cart or anything? But a hand cart, of course, is.
You need
that's
people
all
to
right.
pull a cart?
Yeah.
Can't the big man carry the cart? The one who's eating out of my pot?
Yes, yes, Crema, just that. That is actually all that I do need.
Take one. Take one and get your friends out.
All right, I will.
For the love of your grandmother.
Yes, of course, Crema. Thank you. And
Where is your mother? Did she survive?
I do not know. I have not been back, but I hope so.
I hope your people can rebuild, but
Thank you,
if
Crema.
they can't, they're welcome to work in the mines.
Were we close
We
enough?
appreciate it.
Were we close enough for me to hear any of that?
Yeah. So you guys right now are outside of the barn, unless you came back in.
Okay. I just didn't know how far they walked away, and I wanted to know
yes.
if I was privy.
Very, very far.
Okay.
So it's
Nothing.
right. Shkabal
Got
went
it.
out the front door, and then you're actually in almost like a shed that was built onto the outskirts of the barn that had this big cooking pot in there, and it's a little more well ventilated, but the inside is it's pretty well insulated to whatever degree that they could. You know what I mean? It's almost like they had this barn built by somebody that wasn't them, and then built their own ramshackle thing with whatever materials they were able to cobble together from question mark. It almost, I mean, it's proper lumber and it's put together well, but when something falls apart, they just patch it with something, and it's not it's maintained, but not maintained with good material, if that makes sense. So yeah, now you are. She kind of sends one of her attendings to go run off and grab a cart for you and bring it back. And be like, just if your friends want food, take them bowls.
All right. Thank you, Crema. And I mean, it's not much, but and she goes into her little pockets and
She kind of pats your hand down and she's like, no. I apologize. We're normally welcoming of people, at least in the mess hall.
I understand.
But we have a lot of people to feed that we did not account for, and we do not have the cropland for it. If you can pay me back by finding food for these people, perfect. I'll take that as payment.
Food for these people. All right, I will do what I can. And I am in your debt, Crema. Thank you.
And
And
she
I'll
kind
follow
of
the attendant.
grabs her stick back and points at somebody, and then and you look at it's the person who the one that she's like gesturing at is the one that walked away from Ribos and was like, nope, I'm not dealing with this. And she's like, I left you out there for a fucking reason. Somebody ate out of my pot. What is wrong with you? And goes back to getting a new stew thing and prepped and ready to go. Yeah. So Ribos, you're getting a lot of strange looks from people, and if people avoided you before, now it's fear. Before it was curiosity and fear, but now that you started yelling to yourself from their perspective, they're like,
Is the village
Really-
surrounded by woods?
no, the village has sparse woods kind of all around it, but not anything intense. And then there is a line where it almost looks like they had cut down quite a bit of forest up to a certain point where these stakes are in, which they weren't allowed to cut any trees on the other side. So then one side of it is almost there's no tree line, and then right past the stakes there's woods. It looks like it was not quite done on purpose, but they over-logged that particular area over years, kind of thing.
How close is that wood line to the barn?
Oh, pretty far. Yeah, I mean it's a good distance, but it's not terribly far away. But it looks like it's almost the town away, if that makes sense. So you're able to see it, but if there was somebody hiding in there, you might not be able to spot them from this distance.
All right. Well, I'll walk a
Mhm.
couple hundred feet away from the
Sure,
barn
sure.
as I'm leaving and having my time.
Oh, yeah.
Then I'll sit down and start like flagellating myself with the new spear.
Fun.
I'll alternate casting false life and stabbing myself with it
Brutal.
until I can get a little
sure.
bit of peace. And
Okay.
once I do, I'm going to start looking
Okay.
around for small game
Sure,
or
sure.
any
Are you trying to do
any
this?
game tracks so that I can maybe
Mhm.
find
Something to kill.
something that I can contribute back.
Sure. Are you going into an area where you're unable to be seen. Is that kind of
not
Rebel's
necessarily
intention?
hidden, but away from
Sure.
the barn, away from like
There-
any general crowds
Gotcha.
of people.
There are still prying eyes, and then they see it, and then they're like, just run away, kind of thing.
Like
Hey,
I
look away.
I have
Hey,
no
there's
shame
nothing
in
to
it.
see
Sure,
over
sure.
here.
But I
Sounds
know,
like a
I
plan.
know it.
What is,
I would
why is
notice
it
that it was
silly?
already
Yeah, you're not-
disturbing
Yeah,
them
you
that
don't
I
wanna
was
see it,
having
no.
a bit of a time.
You're not in the middle of the street.
Sorry.
Sounds like a plan.
All right.
I try to peer out and see what the yelling is about, and he just puts his hand over his pocket.
Shkaba, where are you at? So Rybos walked off and grumbling to himself, and yeah.
I guess seeing that, I motion to everybody like, okay, come on, time to go. Nothing to see here.
Sure.
You know, I flail my wings out.
Right,
Like,
yeah, and they just-
kind of like block the area.
Scatter.
Like, nothing to see. Vamos, come on. And I'm like, okay.
All right. So Jeremy, you come on out, and the attending runs over to one of the miners and is talking to them, and they're like, and they're like, and just kind of urgent, very. Almost like they are pressured by the Crema to have this handled, and so they're like, "You get out of my way! Let me take this stupid cart. Like, why are you doing this to me?" And so he helps them unload the rocks that are in there and put them into the receptacle that he was going for, and it takes the cart and wheels it over, and it's larger than a wheelbarrow, but it might be able to be pulled by a small mule or something, or maybe a riding dog, that kind of thing, if it had the proper attachments. But right now it's just somebody picks it up. You could not attach this to a horse, however. This
Okay,
is
smaller
yes.
creature
Mhm.
size. Gotcha.
It's just way too small. You'd have to make a special apparatus for it, and then it would still be something that a horse couldn't run with, or otherwise it would just, which would not be good.
All right. Well, thank you. This will be very helpful.
You're welcome. They go running off.
Just kind of, Jeremy's not used to this, and looks around and tries to find.
Oh, and it's something that you grab
like,
and then
like this.
and then walk
Move.
forward. Yeah,
Right.
yeah, rather than a wheelbarrow that you pick
Right.
it up and walk. Yeah.
Okay.
You can do it that way, but it's unruly.
Right. So I'm gonna look for the rest of my.
Sure. They're pretty easy to find. You see Rybos stabbing himself, which is something that you haven't seen before. You see Yizgalin, she had put the so this is from your perspective as a goblin in a goblin tribe, seeing from that kind of point of view. You see Shkaba going like this and with his wings up, like shoving people away. You see Yizgalin has laid a corpse in the street, kind of thing, like with its arms crossed over, and is just kind of tapping her forehead in deep in thought. And you see Rybal stabbing himself in the leg with a spear every 6 to 12 seconds, kind of thing. But Sonny is keeping a low profile.
Well, at least
wonder
something right now.
Fine. So I'm embarrassed by the goblin thing. So
There you go.
yes, I'm hiding.
I'm just gonna wheel right up to Shkaba. Well, Jeremy found cart. It's a hand cart, but it's a cart. What's Rybos doing? Why is he?
And he's like
That's
glowing
okay.
too, I
Nothing
think.
to see
right?
here.
Yeah, about every
okay.
So-
6 seconds when I alternate between stabbing myself in the leg with a spear, and,
Yep.
I say a little chant and
So
and
don't hurt,
you
don't
notice
hurt.
like that whole thing that you saw when we broke camp, where
Yep.
I have it glow a little bit with some greenish blue energy, and I become more orc looking for just a moment.
This has escalated from a nervousness and then a danger to now people actively, you can hear them in the background kind of saying the goblin word for demon
Wonderful.
kind of thing. So this is, for Jeremy, she's like, uh-oh,
Yep.
bridge burnt, uh-oh.
Doing it again. Here we go. Burning all the goblin bridges. Okay.
Go ahead and make an insight on the
Okay.
goblins. Sonny, you can as well with disadvantage because in the pocket.
It's his favorite weapon. Leave him alone.
You said disadvantage for.
Now, keep in mind, most goblins had never seen a birdman before, so from their perspective, they maybe could have existed at some point, but
Hey.
more likely it's a demon.
This
And
is
then here's your
fantastic.
other demon.
I'm a god.
14.
14.
10.
10. So, Sunny, you've heard murmurs like this before in your past. And what follows afterwards is typically a mob of some sort. Either people running away or towards.
Okay.
In direct relation to your finesse. And before you knew to keep it away from people, it is... people are alarmed. This
Got it.
is about as dangerous as it's gotten for these goblins in generations.
Okay.
So, yeah.
We're gonna go soon, right?
What?
We're gonna go. We should probably get going.
I
I just tell her to put the body in the cart and we can just like briskly get out
You
of
see
here.
these goblins shoot. Sorry.
do you hear that?
Can we go? I think we should go.
Is
I don't-
Goblin,
Where are we going?
I got
She,
this cart that
The pocket
you can put him in.
then she
This is the best I
lays
can
him
do.
gently in, and he just, his legs flop over, and she just,
Well,
it's fine. I'll carry the cart.
all right.
The,
Well-
Picks
the
it up.
movement of the corpse gets my attention more,
Mhm.
and at this point, I've flagellated myself quite thoroughly.
Sure, sure.
Oh,
We
lovely.
should just like
You see,
fly
there's
to the
quite a bit of
woods.
blood
They'll
on the
catch
ground
up.
around me, and I just get up very, very calmly and just kind of wipe
Mhm.
the blood off. Just
I would imagine that he has like some sort of like
That's
rag or
yucky.
something with dedicated to just cleaning the blood off of himself after all of this.
this is
blood
like
rag.
an escalation
Sure,
from
sure.
what I normally would do. Before
Right.
it was just more bludgeoning.
Yep.
So,
Yep.
so
This
at
is
this point, I don't
stabbing.
really have that. So I'm using my cloak,
Gotcha.
which is a
Sure,
little
sure.
bit tattered and worn anyway.
Right.
And as I get up, I'll chant once more, just gently, the spirits of Feliminak, give me strength. And you see me pulse again, the blue, greenish glow, the orcish features take over my visage, and I just look more feral and strong.
Have
And,
them
it,
make a
and it
perception.
fades.
Yeah.
Disadvantage here.
Yes.
What are we rolling? Perception?
Perception.
Perception?
Come, let's
Ooh.
hunt. Let us hunt for this village.
So,
Ramos, can I talk to you for just a second? Just you and me.
They need
what,
food.
what'd you
Let's
guys?
bring them
What'd you guys roll?
It's 11 for me.
11.
18.
1.
You
Oh,
do
I
a
was supposed to
perception.
roll too?
Yep.
Sorry.
No, you're good. Fitting.
8.
There you go. What was yours again?
18.
18. You do notice that a few of them that do speak some sort of halfling heard what Rybel said. And as soon as he said that, they ran. They might have misinterpreted hunt for the city. They heard hunt and city and a demon man standing in the middle of a field stabbing himself.
Perfect.
So this is, you guys are starting, well, most of you actually rolled pretty poorly on that. Jeremy, you're noticing that there are people brandishing whatever weapon they can
No,
and making
crazy.
some sort of defensive perimeter and keeping the women and children back and trying to protect the refugees and it's just
Get
ready for
frisky today?
whatever fight
We're
with
going,
whatever,
right?
whatever stick or pickaxe or hoe that they can find.
I'll pull out my spear
Rivals.
and start walking toward the wood line.
Okay.
We could
There you go.
fly.
Very
We
calm.
should just fly. Let's just go fly.
Right, we're going
we
hunting
go.
out in the woods
You hear
somewhere,
one
like
of
really
the-
loudly. Just
One of
like,
the goblins yell like, "Send scouts!"
no need.
And you
It's
see one
under
goblin go
control.
just running as fast as he can, not towards the woods, but towards the south and away from you guys. Which you know, that's in the general location of the hunter goblin area.
Fantastic.
So there's somebody running off to warn them that there's something happening here, and they're not entirely sure what it is.
We
Alright.
have taken flight to the woods.
We gone.
Gotcha. Flying off, walking
Right.
into the woods.
Yeah.
Yasgalan is like, this is not good.
No, no, it's not. I gotta catch up to Rivals.
And she goes jogging as best as she can with this thing.
Right.
I'll catch up.
Jeremy's gonna try to catch up to Ribos and
It's going to be damn near impossible to sneak through the woods with this hand cart, by the way. It's going to leave tracks.
Hey,
right.
we could do it.
So, yeah. All right, so you're all into the woods now, and what are you all doing?
I'm going to start trying to track some game.
Sure. Go ahead and make a survival check.
While he's tracking, Jeremy's trying to talk to him.
With
We are
disadvantage.
hunting. Be quiet.
Well, I just gotta say that,
Jeremy, now is not the time to speak.
it's always a
13.
good time to speak.
You do find some animals around, and you think that you would have some good luck with this, given enough time. But it's something right off about 15 minutes of you guys talking and going through the woods and all that. You think if you spent a good hour or two out here, you could find something, but you're not sure if you're able to find like a deer, but you're able to find something to feed yourself or the people around you, kind of thing.
Come, we can feed this village. We can help your people.
Well, Ribos, we are only so few. I mean, maybe there'll be, we maybe can go to Plimbari, which is a caravan tribe, and they might have bigger carriage, more mule-like creatures to pull, and maybe they can send their caravan group, so maybe they can send supplies over if they know what's going on. But they live far out than the rest of the tribes. Is it in the direction? Because they're the farthest.
Yes, it is in the direction.
In the right
Yes.
direction, right?
They're
Okay.
they're the most
farthest
northern.
north.
They're more
Gotcha.
northwest from where you are, but they are on the road,
Okay.
kind of thing.
I think he was saying that he wanted to hunt so he could give the food to the village as an apology for being
Oh no,
so...
we don't need to go back there
Okay.
right now. No.
I must repair my transgression.
You are fine not to do that. That honestly would probably be the best apology you could do right now, is not to go back to that village right away. Let's give them time to process what happened.
You could put a pin in it for right now. You could come back to it later.
Why would we put a bin into
You know, a pin.
a bin? Yes, like a basket.
I'm going to
Like
be
a-
completely honest. There's nowhere else I can better say it other than pin. There's a pin. It's a pin. I can't say it any
I'll pull out
better.
my spear and
I think like pin.
Yes, the point. The
You want to
pin,
put
the point.
A
you put the
spear
point,
into the
yes.
goblins?
No, no, never mind.
It's halfling is not my native tongue. I just
Neither is my ear.
I think we can fair say that most of us don't have common being the most suitable language.
I don't have to go back myself, but you could take the food. You could make amends for me.
We can maybe do one better. If maybe we can make contact with Plimbari and we can create a nice little trade between them, because right now trade is not flowing right for the goblin community. So maybe they can make it work if they're connected to each other.
That sounds like a long-term solution, but it does not make amends for my transgression.
Like I said, Ribos, you know, goblins, they're very unique, and you're very unique, and very differently unique. And
special.
some things that I respect your culture, but, you know,
I think what Jeremy is trying to say is this is unimportant right now.
I will be the judge of what is important to
Oh,
me.
I need to get him
Jeremy
to the
too.
city. So if you'd like to stay here and hunt in the woods, you be my guest. And she like picks up the cart,
What is an hour
starts
in
going.
the course of a 10-day?
just
I'll follow her out of obligation, but grudging, very begrudgingly. Like I have a very bad look at my face.
sure.
Why is he always so crabby?
I don't know why it has to be so difficult. Why does it have to
She's,
be so hard?
she's been very quiet for most of this and just kind of been like, fuck, goddamn, you know, which is very almost a Ribos reaction.
Fine. We will go then.
All right, well, Plimbari is on the way, so, which is good.
I'll stow my spear and just
Sure.
follow his column.
You do see, as you're going out, there are a few following you guys, but they don't seem to be very good at it. They're very similar to the ones that had the spears before, that they're, you can hear, and then you just see a face, and
We hear you. Now we see you.
and then they run off.
You need
That kind of
practice.
thing.
Go ahead, keep going. You need the practice.
And then after a while, they're just walking behind, but very far away, and just watching you guys leave and waiting. They
Just start
they
walking
have
in.
weapons, but they're not brandishing them, if that makes sense. They're just,
Keeping an eye.
they have them because that's what you do. But it's not, they
Stick 'em
don't
with the
appear
pointy
to be a
hand.
threat at all.
Sonny is trying desperately not to go play hide and seek and spook them. just be known.
It does seem so. It took you guys 6 hours to get to the coal mining town,
Cool.
and based
mines
off
are
your
really
general
cheap,
idea, it should take roughly a day's worth of walking between the coal mining town and Plimbari. So something like that.
About a half a day journey, you said?
No, a day journey.
Day journey.
Yeah, yeah. This is a decently large woods. To get from Terrari to Plimbari on the road would take a day, but that's by road.
Okay.
This is you guys going through the woods with a cart, which you're not. You do know that the Plimbari own a certain section of the woods at a certain point, but you haven't reached that yet. So right now you're in the hunter tribes territory.
Road.
But if you go any further to the east, you'll be in the coal mining territory, but you're not entirely sure. They don't seem like warriors, so that could be safer, but it could be more difficult to walk through depending. So it's kind of up to you guys on how you want to do this. Which side you want to potentially piss off.
Let's try the fly side.
I mean, we're really good at pissing off both sides, so I mean, honestly, take your pick.
They are your people.
Who would be easier to get mad at?
I mean, I can pretty much just get mad at anyone.
Well,
good point,
we would like to avoid conflict at all cost, if possible, just because we're trying to negotiate, so it'd be really nice if I could actually have a nice negotiation without starting so far behind. So,
Then who do you want to talk to?
Yes.
well, I mean, I guess we'll go with the coal miners for now, just because I'm sick of the hunters. I really not a fan of them anyways, so I'd rather get stuck with the coal miners. They're harmless. They won't bother us. If they do, probably scare them away easier than the hunters.
The coal miners, which is really interesting, you've only really met the, how do I put this? Almost the rejects, if that makes sense? Because for the most part, that's who they send through the woods because they're like, we can't trust you in the mine. Take this cart and go over there. And when they're going through, the hunters find them and then guide them through their woods as part of a contract between the different tribes. So once they deposit the stuff, they're not doing any trade deals. They're just dropping the stuff off, and they're like, it's just day laborer kind of thing, and it doesn't require it just picking up the cart and walking forward. So anyone who's particularly injured but still can carry the cart or some sort of capacity help out with that, that's who they would send. Somebody who they can't put anywhere else, so they waste their time on a couple days journey to cart rocks back and forth.
Gotcha.
So it's they've generally been nice, but that's the impression that Jeremy's had, while the hunters have been very standoffish and aggressive.
Yeah, right.
And anyone they don't have the contract to go through the woods with.
And Jeremy hasn't had too many experiences outside of these experiences too. So just from
Oh, yeah.
the past, couple
Yep.
hours, I've made judgments on who I want to talk to.
Oh, yeah.
So.
We can assume word has gotten around about me as well. So
Oh, it was mentioned. That was
Yes.
definitely mentioned.
Yeah,
You remember that, don't you, Sonny? Good.
I mean, within the hunters is what I was.
Yes. The hunters know about you, and then the coal miners know about you.
Yeah. So we're winning.
So we're gonna fly.
That's probably actually a great idea.
See
All right.
you.
And
later.
so
See you guys
go ahead and
later.
make a survival with advantage because Isgalin is helping you, and a perception check with advantage because Sunny's helping you.
Holla for a
16 survival.
16. Yeah, you're able to find your way through and kind of keep the skirting both of them without having to go too far into the foothills and too far into the woods. And it does end up taking in order to get to the place that you guys are going to, it'll take 8 hours. You guys left in the morning, and that was roughly 6 hours ago. And so at this point, you would have stopped at some point to eat, relax, catch your breath, and then move on again in order to get over that way. So in total, it would be, if you guys are walking the entire time, it'd be 14 hours worth of walking, which is obnoxious. So everyone go ahead and make an athletics check if you'd like.
I got 18 for perception.
Oh, gotcha. I was like, wow, you didn't even roll yet. What are you talking about?
I'm just that good.
You do see that there are people looking, but they're not following. They're just on like you'll see a head pop up on top of a hill and watch you, and then they'll disappear and then they'll move on. And it does appear that there are other goblins that besides the ones that work in the coal mining area, and they have little terraced croplands, and it looks like that's where they get a good majority of their food. Is just the outlying area. So it's you do pass by an occasional hut or so, but no one comes out. You know, for all intents and purposes, it's abandoned because everyone's like, shit, and outsiders hide. Hopefully they don't burn our house down. I'm just waiting for you guys to get by. But yeah. What did we get?
I got 20 not natural.
Nice.
I got 12, but I'm comfortable.
Oh yeah,
in the
you're
pocket,
fine.
Though,
Yeah,
right?
no, you're
Yeah,
not even
I'm
marching. You didn't have to roll
chilling,
at all. You're good. Shkaba,
I got 9.
9.
18.
18. So, Shkaba, you're you overdid it on the flying in the first little bit. You'll be able to recover from this pretty quickly, but you'll have an exhaustion level for walking all damn day. And so at this point, you're just kind of doing it because everyone else is doing it, and just
Like,
this is the
what
most downtrodden
this?
you've seen Shkaba ever so far. He's not making jokes. He's just back and forth. But you do end up getting to the place around, let's see. You guys left right around daybreak, correct?
Mm-hmm.
And so it is hit nighttime before you guys reached to the area, but you're pressed on a little bit further because, Jeremy, you did know that past this next clearing, it's right there.
Once I get a little closer, I kind of am like, I heard about these markers. Yeah.
The foothills start to fade away, and then the forest gets a little thicker on one part of it. And you're like, if we cut directly through this area, then we'll see the spikes. And then right around sunset, you saw there are markers that are well made and have little almost like painted runes on there, where it's a goblin language of stolen letters. Kind of thing. So it's in this area, it's elven letters, but they spell out goblin words.
Gotcha.
And sometimes they're supplemented with different things. Like there's a dwarvish script out there, and really, for the most part, it gets divided up into those and Orcish, depending on where you're at in the world. So it's just the local culture. And if they don't have the right sound, they either make it up or they steal something from somewhere else and plaster it on there. Because goblins don't have their own written language, but they do have the capability of writing.
Look at these fancy fellas.
A lot of the times they're not, for these kinds of things, weirdly enough, the goblins won't use halfling. There's a strange relationship between goblins and halfling language, and it's spoken as a trade language, but never written, unless you're doing it for a scribing purpose for somebody who's specifically asking for it, or otherwise they'll write in whatever major culture it was as a part of almost a roping themselves into it kind of thing, to be like, we're using your language and that kind of deal. So it's an amalgamation of a lot of things. But you do see these posts, and on one side it does say the name of the hunter tribe, and the other side it says Plumbari. Pretty easy to define. You're like, hey, it's right over here. It's got to be like the road's right past this thicket of woods, and you're able to make it towards a spot where you see there's a very defined tree line, and then a town, a proper town, a spot where travelers could stop and stay at some sort of tavern that is built for people larger than goblins. And this is Plumbari. This is the second trading town of Three Rivers. Well, and trading town is a generous term.
What do you see?
Have you been in the
Jeremy
pocket the
thinks
whole
we're here.
time? You've just been bored out of your skull.
Every time, well, I'm like memorizing this book.
Sure.
That probably doesn't mean a shit to me, but I'm like,
Mhm.
I'm learning just like Jeremy.
There you go.
Yeah, right. Every time I would think about popping my head up, they would be like, "Hey, we see you," and I would be like, "Damn it! I really just want a drink. You could just get some out of the jug for me."
Just pouring it in your pocket. Awesome. Just imagine like you start pouring it and Jeremy's head just
Or summies, yeah.
Oh, sorry. I keep doing
I
that.
just
Yours
imagined
are
a
both
goblin
small.
head doing that though, and I was like, whoa.
That's scary.
That's a lot worse.
Oh boy.
Tell me
So,
what's going on.
You are now in Plimbari. You're on the outskirts. You haven't walked in yet, so
We're
you
in
can
Plimbari.
prep yourselves.
You seem a bit tired there, my friend. Not
Yes.
used to traveling long distances, I see.
Not really.
I'm not that
These
heavy.
legs are so small. These wings, they carry it all in the air. It's so much easier. But on the ground, it's like.
The flying thing's very useful. Maybe we can find something in this town to perk you up.
Jeremy has good prospects for Plimbari. I mean, they're used to caravan trading and going long distances, and probably a lot better with outsiders than the other tribes, just their exposure.
Jeremy, you make jokes. Miners, prospects, yeah.
Is there a
I
tavern?
like your sense of
You hear he is going. Go.
Jeremy like looks back and forth and is like, right. I'm funny, Goblin. Yes.
Funny cop.
Do you know this town?
I know of this town.
You've been here.
Have
once
I
or
been
twice.
here?
Yes,
Okay.
but not very often.
Okay.
But you've been here
It's a long ways.
a few times, and most of the time it's been to purchase inks and things like that for Ram, and who Crema and your mother don't really want you going up here because the road's not safe, kind of thing. But it's plenty safe. And this place doesn't have shops, but it does have places that if you are a goblin, you could probably buy something from another goblin there. It's you might not find it, but there is another scribe that's up here, and they primarily work with religious texts on a contract with the local church. Well, not local here, but local around.
Okay.
Yep, there's a monastery not too far from this area. It's a a day or so journey away. Everything kind of ends up being in that threshold of you can kind of get there in a day, but
All right.
or otherwise it's now you have to risk camping and then bandits and all that kind of good stuff. So everyone kind of stays within a day's journey of their own place.
Fair. Well, there's good prospects. I mean, might be a little finagling if we all can just please understand goblin people don't maybe know other customs.
we should cover
I
this.
do not understand the goblins'
But-
language.
That's okay.
I
If
don't
you
know
think
what
it's
they
okay,
say.
probably don't do it around the goblins. Just just to make it easier, just because if you think you should do it, you probably shouldn't in front of goblins.
I thought the elves
She is
were
a funny goblin.
goblins.
You're a funny goblin.
Do we have a cloak or something we can? And she just points at the body that's
Probably best.
like has like sticks and stuff on top of it, which is
I'll
good
take
credit
off
for the
my
words.
cloak and just,
The one
like,
that's covered in
throw
blood.
over the- It's dry now.
It's dried
body.
blood. Yeah, there you go.
Perfect.
All right, we wrapped him up in the bloody cloak, kind of thing.
Yeah.
She just shrugs like I
That's the best I can do.
special.
Sprinkle some dirt on him.
Sure. like you just dug him up. Like,
They're not gonna know that he's a pile of dirt.
Yeah.
I think they're gonna know.
So,
I want that back.
are we staying in town, or what? Are we staying out of the town? Like, where are we sleeping? Because I am
Pretty sure
tired.
you know my preference.
Is there a tavern?
We might be able to.
Is there a tavern?
I believe so, of some sorts, if I remember correctly.
He's saying we
There
can
is.
fill up my
There's a
jug.
tavern there. They don't have rooms, but they have a place where you can sleep. Kind of.
All right.
Right?
Pass
Perfect.
out
Yeah.
loud.
So yes.
Yeah. Well, it's I.
As out
You've,
at the
you've
bar.
been here
Got
before
it.
and you've slept in. Typically, if you stay the night out here, you stay the night with somebody because you're part of the tribes,
Right.
kind of thing. But you do know that travelers can sleep in the stables just like a horse. Like they rent out the
Yes.
stable portion of it just as a like. There's your cubby, and you do whatever you want with it.
It's not flattering, but you might be able to get a stable spot. Hay and
stable.
warmer than maybe the ground.
I
Not flattering, but it's something.
would rather stay in the woods personally.
think we're
It's
going to
probably a good idea. I will stay as well.
The ground,
With
the
him.
ground is equally stable in the woods.
If you all go out, I will actually keep him here, and points at the cart. That way, there can be no issues.
Well, I don't know. It is getting a little late for, negotiating terms. Maybe we should all go in the morning. And she kind of loses a little confidence in herself for a minute there, just like after the last couple of times, just like.
So we're going to the woods?
It's okay, Jeremy. We'll keep you safe.
Right.
Although we should not be here. We should be, and she kind of points off to the edge of the woods. We should be over there. That way we're not in anyone's way.
Yes, agreed.
Yeah, okay.
Okay.
All right.
So he picks
Well,
up and.
Yes, I agree. Maybe fresh start in the morning would be best.
All right. Now, with the end of the day, you all eat the final meal, and Goblin, Rybos, and Sunny are all good, and Shkaba and Jeremy, you guys are hungry and without food.
Yay!
I noticed they're without food, and I share rations with each of them.
Same with Goblin. So
Thank you.
that would mean
So
Rybos and
just one off
Goblin.
of each of us.
Yes, you'll have 8
That's
total.
nice.
Right.
I was already down to 8 because we had one day of travel previous in the first session.
Well, for that
outchucked
first
my
session
food
thing,
from earlier
I was
and
kind of
reheated.
assuming that you guys had eaten
Oh,
that night
all right.
at the
I'll
castle.
go with 8 then. Thank you.
Perfect.
I figured then that way because it happened at night, so you guys already had your meal, and then shit hit the fan.
Understood.
Well, once we're in town,
Sonny,
we
you
can
have 7
probably get some
days.
supplies.
You have 7 days worth of booze.
Oh, gotcha. Yes.
Yep.
Am I
Is
still
it safe for me to
exhausted?
come out? I could really use to. I'll just go right in the jug.
I can take the first watch.
Hey,
I'll
Jeremy,
get
I-
rest.
God damn it!
You
Why
can
do
do
I
it,
keep doing
Sam.
this? I'm so
okay.
sorry.
It's okay.
Sonny, I'm sure you're fine. As long as you don't fly, you can sit with us.
I agree.
Walking is so hard.
Shikaba it
Like
immediately
hang
gives you
from
that
his
look.
pocket and and I plop down to the ground.
You do
Well-
feel a massive weight just lifted, and you're like, oh, all right.
Well, are you gonna give me my jug?
Fucking just toss it at her.
Just a large
ding,
jug.
ding,
Yeah.
Rude. I was gonna share it with you, not now. And I'll pop the cork and bloop, back in the bottle.
Now, I must warn
Put the
everybody, please don't be
I can
startled
get it.
by
We discussed
any
this.
goblins. Sometimes they scout around the towns, so if any goblins do show up, please just wake me or let me know, and I will try to talk it out with them without, violence.
I don't know, your words are
We
pretty
haven't come
violent.
to violence yet.
I know.
I
Let's
will
keep
wait.
it that way.
Yasgalin is going to sleep underneath of the part of the cart, so like kind of half of her is is partially covered by that for potential rain, and just curls up, or not curls up, but like sets up her little thing. Like, who's making the first watch?
Rybos.
Oh, you guys went gray.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Technical
Momentary
difficulties.
technical difficulties.
And we're back. Sorry about that. So one of our cameras died, and we had to get a new one.
Technical
So, anyway.
difficulties.
Where the heck were we?
We were just about to start our rest, and I
Yes.
was doing the first watch.
You were doing the first watch. All right, go ahead and give me a perception. Everyone else is asleep, correct?
Oh,
Cool.
yes.
Nice. That would be a 19.
You do see
19.
somebody approaching. There's 3 people coming up. 2 of them have torches. 1 of them does not.
Like humanoid?
Nope. Well, humanoid, yes, but not
Goblin.
yeah.
Goblin
goblin.
peoples.
Goblinoid, yes. So
Goblin
they come up and they're, help! And these ones, they look like a deeper shade than the even Jeremy's people, but not too far off, if that makes sense. Kind of there's, what kind of shade is your people?
Kind of like a darker mossy green.
Sure.
Like a-
So this
yeah.
one ends up being more like a bluish green. You know, like the real like almost dark green, but it's got that tint of that blue thing going on.
That color
Yep, a
green.
little bit of that.
Are they brandishing any weapons?
Two of them have torches, and one of them does have what appears to be a bow in their hand, but kind of down.
No arrow now.
No. It's like a short bow in a holster-ish kind of thing on a quiver, and they're kind of have their hand on it, and they're like, what are you doing?
Well, I'm watching you. My friends are sleeping.
Here? Because
Be quiet.
this is Plumbari territory. You can't camp here.
We're camping here.
You got to go up the road or to one of the taverns.
We don't camp on the road.
You might not, but you also don't camp here.
Don't see a sign.
I'm the sign. Like this-
I've never seen a talking sign before. You,
Oh, that's the
you're
first.
a comedian like my friend Jeremy. Let me wake her up.
That's
one moment.
it's a great
please,
idea.
And I'll go. nudge
Just-
Jeremy.
She
Jeremy,
almost kind of
Right.
expected it,
Right.
so she kind of like,
there's someone here's making funny jokes.
Ah.
You should probably talk to them.
Speaks into Goblin and be like, hello. How
good
do you-"
evening.
And you recognize this one, actually. You've met this person before.
Oh.
It's not a drinking buddy, but somebody that you've seen around and had conversations with. They're one of the kind of the scout guard kind of things, and every time that you come up, they'd come get you and be like, "Hey, how's the family?" And very
Hopefully that doesn't count.
yeah,
I'm just kidding. Rough
They're-
subject.
like they knew Ram
Yeah.
pretty well, so you
Okay.
know them through Ram. And he's like, "Oh, hey."
So good to
What are
see you.
And he comes over and gives you a
Oh
big hug.
yes. You well? You family well?
Better than what happened over, and I'm so very sorry to hear.
Yes, it's a tragedy, but some of my people made it to Quebec. Refugees over
Oh,
there.
yes. Yep,
but-
we have some here as well.
Oh, good. They made it this far.
Yeah, oh yes, yep. There's
Wonderful.
we sent people as soon as we heard.
Oh,
It's-
thank you. Of course. I mean, I'm sorry for camping out like this. I know it's really abnormal with territory, but we were so tired and we just couldn't quite make it into town before it.
Go ahead and make a persuasion.
They're speaking Goblin.
Yes.
Yeah?
Oh yeah.
I'm just.
Immediately
I'm
right in
supposed
the
to be
goblin
really good at
kind of
this,
thing.
so please, dice. Okay. Persuasion. 24.
Nice. What'd you roll on?
16.
Nice. Hey, there you go. So they just. Well, we'll call this refugee camp then.
Oh,
And you have a good night. Sorry to bug you.
no,
And he
thank you.
waves
Thank you.
over
Of course.
at
We'll
you.
be in town tomorrow to make it up.
Have a good night. No, don't worry about it. Don't worry about it.
Thank
You've
you.
been
You're
through
doing
enough.
a great job of being a sign. Keep it up.
He gives you kind of like a thumbs up as he's walking away.
Jeremy takes like a deep sigh, like, oh, that could have been different if I didn't know them, but it all worked out. We should be fine for the rest of the evening.
I like him. He was funny.
Funny goblin, like you said.
I knew you guys were friends just because the sense of humor is the same.
Oh, rival. I like when you smile.
The cartoon snoring. That's
The bubble out of the nose.
great, right? Can you imagine Shkabaz just like.
You see me like.
I like I'm
fall
all
and roll
self-conscious
around
now. I'm trying to cover up my tusks with my
Right?
top lip.
Oh, there you go. Yeah. Awesome.
Anyways, I don't think we're gonna have any trouble. Probably still good to have somebody keep an eye out, but I think we're not gonna have any more trouble with Goblin this evening.
Okay,
How long has it been for the watch?
15 minutes. Like it was
it's
like
still
right
my-
after you guys.
Still my turn. Go
All
back
right.
to sleep.
Thank you, Ribos, and thank you for waking me. I do appreciate it.
I am trying to understand your people.
Thank you, Ribos. And with that, she goes off and goes back to sleep.
All right. So the rest of your watch kind of goes without anything. There's a scout that kind of circles your. It looks like they have a perimeter, and then when they go to yours, they kind of go around on the outside and then keep going, almost in a protective manner, if that makes sense.
Nice.
Like you're included into the bubble, and so you let your guard down a little bit because you know that there's other people also watching. So it's not as you don't have to watch the woods as hard because there's other people also watching the woods.
Nice.
And all right, who's next up on the watch? So I guess you just pick because nobody said anything.
Right. I figured I just woke Jeremy up, so she should probably sleep more. Let's go check out Sunny. Like nudge her with the finger.
Are you where are you
Sunny.
asleep at?
I was actually still in the bottle.
you're
I
in the
never
bottle. I
said
can't
that I had
find
left
So
the bottle.
sleeping in the bottle. So you don't fly when you're asleep. So you just and start drowning.
Right. I'm just saying I never stated that I had done anything else.
Okay, gotcha. I see what you're saying.
I probably would have went back into the pocket.
Sure.
Which would have.
So yeah, you're you know where Sunny probably is, but
Yeah.
that's the thing. So you just
You hear a little.
Hey, Shkaba. Shkaba. It's your turn to take watch.
And I'll start unbuckling
Sure.
armor and take
Oh,
my
good stuff.
5 minutes.
Sure.
Was it 1 minute to doff?
right.
5 minutes to done. Or 10.
Oh right.
Something like that.
Something like that. I always forget.
What
So
I
can
typically
get a
end up
good
doing is light armor. I don't worry so much about taking it off and putting it on, that kind of deal. But then
Light
medium
armor,
armor
medium.
and heavier.
Right.
Yep.
Yeah.
That's where it becomes difficult. All right.
Cool. I'm gonna pop in the air and circle around us.
All right. So go ahead and make your perception check. Now, I forget, is exhaustion.
1 and 5.
Anyone offhand remember?
Mm-mm.
What about it?
Disadvantage.
Exhaustion, disadvantage on, is it?
Like the first level of exhaustion?
Yes.
It's a
Just advantage on ability checks.
All right, so
ability
disadvantage
checks.
on that perception check. Because you're like,
All
you're
right.
flying around.
And I'm sleeping, so I cannot. I'm like,
Right.
this is
Floating in
the
the air.
nicest
Right.
dream.
I'm in the clouds.
Nice.
10, 11, 12.
12. You don't see anything of interest.
Cool.
Who are you waking up?
Huh. Sunny.
Just
Your
your
turn.
turn. Yeah, awesome. So you're pulled out of the out of the pocket and are, I'm assuming, still asleep when he puts you on the ground. So that didn't wake her up.
Even her like expanding or something.
Right? Yeah, just yep.
All right. I go uncork her bottle.
So as soon as that cork goes,
Sure.
I'm like,
Right? You pop up and look up
Oh.
and.
what are you doing?
So initiatives, the both of you.
Is it time? Is it time to drink?
Who, see who reacts quick enough. Whether she about
Is it
waste
time to
a
drink?
cup of booze. What'd you get?
Initiative, yeah,
Yeah.
9.
9. All right.
But I also got 9.
Oh, brutal. Sorry. Dexterities.
I've got +4.
Same.
What the hell? Is it both 18s? Or is
I-
one of them a 19?
I have 18.
18.
Oh, roll again.
Okay.
Just don't add anything. Just give me the number.
Don't add
If
anything.
you guys get a tie again, then it's a draw, I guess.
6.
10.
All right, so a cup of booze gets poured onto you, so go ahead and mark that off. And you're doused.
What are you wasting booze for? That's not very nice. I'm like,
Hey, before I even uncorked it, your mouth was open, so I thought I'd give you a hand there. So I'm just.
don't do that again. And I put the cork back on.
The bottle's like, you're just barely over. You gotta like fly up to push the cork down. Yeah, I dig.
Tinkerbell like stomped on it.
Awesome. All right, so yeah, you're able to go ahead and make a perception check.
Oh, well,
Okay, that works.
that wasn't on purpose. 12.
12. All right, yeah, nothing throughout the night ends
Okay.
up happening for you. You do see the patrolman kind of go around, but you're not. You're like, oh,
This is weird. Should
Okay.
I hide?
right.
Because I wasn't privy to any of that conversation.
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah. So you see them walk up, and then they don't go by. They go by you, but
Yeah.
way off in the distance.
So like as they're going, I'm like circling around like a tree to make sure they can't see me, and then like as they go, I'm like going back around.
Sure.
Kind of more of watching them than anything.
Absolutely. Oh yeah. But yeah, they don't seem to bother you. All right. And who are you waking up?
Well, not you, and I don't know about you.
You do know that Ribos was the
Started.
was the first one. And so you don't know how late it is in the night.
Yeah.
So you're not sure if anyone else got woken up, but you know for sure these two did.
Okay.
There's also, what's her nuts?
Use Goblin.
Yeah.
There was going to be Walgriff, but, you know,
You know, yes,
he
it
got
happens.
murdered. That's how it
At
goes.
least it wasn't us.
Things happen.
I go over to Isgal and I'm like, I don't want to get hit, and I'll go over to Jeremy. And just
Awesome.
like, are you awake?
Yeah.
Are you awake? Hi.
Oh, so close. And you been drinking already?
Well, yeah, I drink all the time. Did you want some? I'll go get some.
No.
Weeks.
Yeah, I was like, you know, that's what really woke me up. Was just like
The
the
musty
yes,
earth
the breath. It was just like, oh, I know
alcohol
what that
smell.
is.
Yeah.
No, I don't need. No, it's okay. Thank you for the offer.
Are you sure?
You can have mine.
It almost it smells and tastes like a sweetened, unwashed mushroom in booze. You know what I mean? Yeah.
All right. Okay.
More for you, right?
Yeah.
All right, I take over from here.
Okay. I'm gonna go back to sleep,
You got it. Wake you in the morning.
and I will, instead of going into his pocket because I don't want to like wake him up, I will just like delicately try to place myself in like the crook of his arm or like
Sure.
back of the knee or something, and just be like,
Yep.
oh,
There you go.
so sweet.
All right, go ahead and make a perception. And you'd be the last one.
Ha ha! Yeah! That is a 3.
All right. You are lost in thought with all
Always.
of the
Every
events and all of the wild and crazy things that have happened in the last, 48 hours? It is, your entire life has been turned upside down, and here we are. You open the ink box and kind of,
Ponder on it.
This shit crazy.
but don't do a very good job keeping watch. But you also know that you were protected by the city, so you also
I
probably
didn't even feel like it was needed,
Think.
so there it is, yeah.
Oh yeah. So yeah, then daybreak comes, and you're begin to rouse everybody.
All right, everyone up.
Scotland crawls out and be like, "Is it my watch?"
No, it's daybreak.
Did you not take a watch?
No, no one woke me up.
What a bunch of shit.
I was,
Come, at least, can you help me with my hand, please?
Helps you put it
I
on.
was gonna wake you up, but you look like you were sleeping real good. So
I was having very good dreams.
You have been carrying the corpse of that.
yeah, I was being considerate.
Oh, Sonny.
All
So
right,
considerate.
So I am
Not
going to
scary,
stay here,
Considerate.
just in case with
Considerate.
him. I'll keep an eye on everything here, and if something goes wrong, I'll head into town.
All right, they shouldn't
But-
bother you. But
No,
if,
no,
But if they do, just tell them that arrangements have been made.
Arrangements have been made. Okay,
You should
Jeremy,
be
the
doing
speaker
okay
from
by yourself.
Terrari.
I will be fine.
Okay.
I think it's just better if we don't bring a corpse into the town.
I really agree with that.
That's probably true.
One less problem out of how many? So
But I probably shouldn't go to the town either. I could stay and watch the body.
what? You're doing
As
just
long,
fine.
as long as you walk. You've kept a lower profile than Ribos.
Very true.
I can't
funny
help
too.
that the spirits of the fjords make me strong. And
Just-
I'll-
Just next time, do it somewhere where no one can see you.
I pulse with that blue-green energy, get all feral looking for a
It-
second.
And Yizgalin seems very comfortable whenever he does this, and everyone else, it is alarming. It's something that you guys have seen magic before, but
Here
this
he goes
is
again.
it's
That's a
always
temper.
different from person to person on what magic ends up happening. Jeremy, you've read about things like this. Sonny, you've seen some of these in your growing up, but it was different. It was a lot more innate rather than something that you had to concentrate and activate on, and just things that happened.
Yeah.
Kind of deal. In Shikaba, you've seen magic here and there throughout the world, and for the most part, you just stay the hell away from them because
I don't do it, so it's ain't my thing, man.
it ends up being more trouble than it's worth. Anytime somebody with magic pops up, you're like, nope, not going on that job.
Bye.
And look where you're at now.
Okay, so walking. Okay, I mean I can try.
You know how to walk, right?
I know.
I was like, you have to try. I mean,
It's so much easier to just.
oh, I bet.
Yeah.
And you've ran around the town over in Lugrier to get into places and things like that. So it's something you're familiar with in hiding your finesse, but it's also obnoxious.
I get so tired. It's weird.
Well, no flying in town, but absolutely, I would love to have you.
Okay.
I mean, we should all
okay.
go together if possible.
If you start flying, I imagine the other goblins would love to have you.
Yeah.
I take my cloak hood and
Yep.
kind of hide my ears a little.
That's
Does
better.
this
Hold
look
my hand
okay?
out to the little kid.
Perfect.
You almost pass for like a part elf, part halfling, but way too short. Does that make
Okay.
sense? Because of the ears, they're like elf, but you're smaller than a.
I don't want to talk about it.
Right. Exactly. yeah.
Fairly
Which
small
is why
child,
most
you
people
know.
are like, "That's a child," which works out for you. All right. So heading into town, the town doesn't have any sort of walls or anything like that. It's just you start walking, and then there's a building and a road through the town. I guess not that abruptly, but Jeremy, you've been here before, so you're able to guide you guys through. You're entering through more of a residential portion of the town, where it's mostly just oriented towards goblins, and there are. It's not a very big place, but it has a shop or two. It has a place where you can go get a drink and stay in the stables. There is a form of general store / pawn shop. They get things from around the area that are sellable and like rope. Everyone needs rope. You always need rope. Someone always buys rope, so they always have rope. They just go out of their way to purchase that kind of thing. And trail rations and things of that nature, almost like an adventure store kind of deal, or weird things like a wagon wheels. They have those there, ready for somebody to be like, "Oh, your shit's broke. Here you go. Here's a kit." So it's a lot of stuff like that. But then they also have, if they have like, "Hey, we found this bracelet thing. You want to buy it? Because somebody sold it to us.
Right.
Because that's all they had."
Maybe I
You
do.
want to buy a watch?
Right? Yeah. So,
I
it's-
got some of
Come
these.
with me. Come with me.
so Jeremy, you know about this place,
Okay.
and it's the Plimbari Pawnbroker. Is the name that they have up above it. Which below it, there's another sign that says "and General Store," which is
Right. Very good. Very goblin of him. Of
Oh,
them. Yes.
So what are we trying to do? We're gonna get like a caravan, right? So we can go faster.
Oh, well.
Is that?
We're gonna try, but there is a well, it's a general store, but it has a lot of adventuring stuff, like maybe rations that Shkaba and I could use, and other knickknacks that maybe you would like, anybody would like.
Do they have booze?
Oh, the tavern has booze, so we can stop there and have a drink as well. Maybe just get acquainted with the area instead of
Will you fill my
barging in like
jug?
we own the place for once, right?
What about sending aid to the village?
We will have to work our way up.
Oh, you do know one strange thing about this area? They have a crema,
We're putting
but
a pin
it's
in the hunting.
a
Okay, right.
This is
it's the elder male here,
Oh boy.
so
We could put a pin in that.
a little different.
Yep.
And it's not necessarily that it's always been the elder male. It's just that this one is.
Just happens to be.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But
forget to
they
fill
still
up my
the
jar.
crema still has the connotation of matron, so it's an odd thing. But this place is also odd. The tavern is, which you know, has been ran by an elvish man for years. He's the only elf that lives here permanently.
Okay.
Yep.
Nice.
They opened up shop, and then they were like, "Yeah, sure, why not?" And it helped the town flourish. So they were like, "Yeah, you can stay here as long as you need." So.
All right. Well, I suggest we get ourselves taken care of first, and then we can move on to possibly negotiating with the crema, who I believe is male, which should be interesting. But normally matriarchal society. But
That's just when I thought I understood something. It's different again.
that's goblins for you. But anyways, the adventure store I think we do need to stop at, and then the tavern. We can maybe have a drink, and then maybe somebody in there who could point us in the right direction.
Fair. There's a couple of things I could use from the store, I think.
Very good. Let's go.
All right. So where to first? The store.
Adventure store.
Gotcha.
Yeah.
All right. You walk on in, and then there are. So the building itself is pretty well made. It's it looks like it's made with proper carpentry and things like that. It's not run down or anything like that, and it ends up having shuttered windows that look like they're nailed shut from that side, but they're on the when you walk in on the inside, there's shelves aligned where that window is supposed to be.
Extra storage.
Exactly. Yeah. So they're like, we'd just rather not have this and put storage up. The
needs windows?
interior is basically a shelves lining every single wall, including the back wall, where there's a doorway leading to what you would assume be either a back room or where the people that own the place live. And then there's shelf after shelf of stuff in the middle, like right down the center of it. And then there's boxes of open goods that are sitting next to the shelves as you go in. It feels cluttered, especially for everyone who is
Oh God.
on the taller side kind of thing. It's narrow, but it's wide enough where you can get through. It just, if there's two of you standing there, you're like, well, one of us has to turn around, you know. So yeah, it's almost like how if you go into a family-owned convenience store that they're just like, yeah, just
Yeah.
fuck, throw it where.
Right.
Yeah.
Been
that
here
kind
for
of thing.
70 years. It'll be here
Exactly.
for 70 more. Yeah.
Bingo. Yep.
Oh
That's
yeah,
the one.
my favorite kind of stores.
So
Let's start looking around for a mess kit.
yeah, oh absolutely. Yeah, there's all kinds of dinged up used ones that are lining a particular side of the wall where it almost looks like it's plates and bowls and just mess kits, and it blends from that into cookware and then that kind of thing.
All right, I'll try to find one that seems has a dark tint to it,
Sure,
so that if I'm using it in camp, it's not going to glare off some sun and
Oh, yeah.
potentially get the attention of predators or anyone
Absolutely.
following us.
You do find one that it looks like they've been using it to cook the things in, so it's blackened.
Perfect.
Ooh, yum.
I'm gonna look around to see if I can find any old woodworking tools.
Sure, absolutely.
like
Go ahead and make an
chisel.
investigation because that's a little more abstract. Not abstract, but an odd place to look for it. But this is also an odd place.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Gonna ask about some food.
Food? Yeah,
See if he's got
absolutely.
some
There
rations.
is a
Fashion.
sign that says way off behind. And, oh, this is another thing about this place. There is a counter, but the counter is it's just one piece of a counter, and it looks like there was one that was ripped out to make more space for more storage for more things. And so the counter itself has somebody sitting there on a stool waiting with whatever change and that kind of stuff that they have. It wouldn't be a cash register, obviously.
Yeah.
More medieval-y kind of times, but that's where you would go to purchase things. And behind them, there are a bunch of signs written in all kinds of different languages. And what do you speak? Is it Halfling and Orin and
Aarakocra.
Aarakocra? And actually, so
Seems
I'm gonna never mind. So actually combine Orin and Aarakocra.
Because they're basically the same thing.
It's actually so they stole it kind of thing.
Yeah.
It's an Orin. Orin is the. It's almost like you're speaking with a really, really hillbilly dialect of Orin,
Yeah.
because you're from the material plane. You know what I mean? Like if you brought somebody from Alabama to England and it was like you're speaking the same language, yet technically.
It's got more chirps and
Yeah.
shit in it.
So, but go ahead and then pick another language because I kind of arranging some things on there, and I kind of wanted to do this with
Oh.
everybody a little bit.
Okay.
So, you speak the what are your languages on there?
They're my ancestral
Gotcha.
languages.
Orcish, Elvish. Cool. Elkish. Elkish.
Elkish.
Orcish.
Elkish.
and Halfling.
That's a slur.
And then you have Sylvan, Goblin, and halfling, right?
Correct.
And then you have
Halfling and goblin. Easy.
also put Elvish on there because of where you grow up and that kind of thing. So in that way, I think everyone has 3 languages at that point,
So
Yes.
I
which I
should,
think works better.
yeah,
for
I should have a
things.
4th.
Oh yeah.
Oh, excuse
Yep.
me, sorry.
And how it was listed before you gave me the halfling was we
Yeah,
have common, goblin, sylvan, and undercommon.
Well,
Okay.
I mean,
So do
I
you
might
want
as
me to
well just
keep
pick
Common.
Uncommon would not be something that would be around
Okay.
here. It does. There is something like that. Spoilers, but you guys won't run into it
Okay.
as of right now. It's not something that people go to. You know what I mean? And
Right.
there's rumors that it exists, but
Okay. So I'll just get rid of that one.
yeah. And
that
then
works. So common, goblin, sylvan, halfling.
but if you had picked something like that because of your background and what have you, then I don't want to penalize that, and I want to be like everyone has 3 only.
You're right.
It just makes sense for Jeremy to know Elvish because of
Right.
the environment that she was in and all that. So go ahead and pick another one. I do recommend either Elvish or possibly Gnomish because of Miss McCann.
Oh, that makes sense. Cool. We'll go
All
that
right.
way. All right.
Sounds like a plan. All right. Got that all set up. I wanted to do that before, but I forgot. Over.
Jeremy is going to go with Shkaba because she wants the same thing. She
Gotcha.
wants rations. So
Sure.
knowing that he needs rations too.
There's a bunch of signs, and one of them is more recent than the others, is hung up that says, for food, acquire within, which is weird because you're already within the place.
See, I just walk out and walk back in.
There is a clerk that he looks like he's carrying boxes and pieces from place to place, and he's there to answer questions. But then there's also a more rotund-looking goblin, like lounging on a stool, just
Enthusiasm.
Hey,
What do you need?
the rations. Do you have any rations by chance?
Refugees took a bunch. I have some. And he speaks pretty fluent halfling. Like, there's not really a huge accent with him, which is interesting.
This guy.
You'd be paying a premium, but it's the way it goes.
What you think, Jeremy?
Jeremy also needs rations. But
Boy, rations.
what kind of premium are we talking about?
Well, now I gotta look up what the rations thing is.
Sorry, I knew that was going to
Oh,
come
yeah,
up
you're
at
right.
that point now.
Yeah, that happens. It's I
1 silver piece per day.
that's what I thought it was. It was 2 silver pieces. Perfect.
Hey.
Well, that is pretty steep, but I understand. I am actually from Ferrari, and so I have
sorry to hear.
sympathy for.
It's
Ugh.
5
you have
silver
been through.
pieces per day.
Oh,
Whoa.
so he says
In
8.
that case,
Sorry, my bad. 8 silver pieces.
Yes, yes. Sadly, I too am a refugee at this point, but you know.
Hard times for all.
Yes, of course, of course. Let me discuss with my friends really quick. Again, being refugees ourselves, we don't necessarily have all the means.
Well, if you have something to sell, we sell things. So
Oh.
you let me know
Absolutely.
if you have anything interesting.
And Jeremy's gonna kind of like pat Shkaba and like kind of bring like, oh, let's go this way
Just
and
Sure.
talk.
put my wings over.
Yeah, we'll go talk to the rest of the group.
Sure.
I'm
All right,
gonna go around for a dagger
would
too
you-
now.
What'd you roll on?
15.
15. Yes, you were able to find quite a collection of. They look like they were well maintained, and then they sat on a shelf for a while.
Okay.
If that makes sense. So it looks like somebody had found this at some point, and is now
Yeah.
like they're like, oh well, I don't know who the fuck we're gonna sell this to, but put it on the shelf, and is up kind of high. So so you're able to see it, but not able to reach it yet.
Okay. I like look around.
You do see that there's the clerk running back and forth, and they're very likely going to run this direction at some point.
And I like pretend I'm climbing,
Sure,
but
sure.
I'm actually hovering, but
Right.
making it look like I'm climbing.
Effortlessly climbing.
Yes.
And you do see the clerk be like, whoa, 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 whoa.
And I
No, it's fine. I can get it. What do you need?
just
Runs over.
I think those are woodworking tools. They look like they're in pretty rough shape.
Oh yeah,
But
yeah, no problem. And he runs off and comes back with a big stick with a couple of hooked, like almost like prongs. He comes up and watch out, ding, ding, ding. he's not really picking them up. He's just knocking them off
Perfect, yeah.
the top. But yeah, so there's a woodworking set there
Okay.
that you'd be able to get. They're well used but sturdy. So they're not anything too crazy, but they're not going to be so no extra bonuses or anything like that. But they will function.
Nice. Probably better than what I have now.
Oh, what do you have now?
I just have wood carver's tools is how it's listed.
That would, I mean, functionally be the same thing.
Okay.
Of what you have there. There might be a tool or two that are a little different, but for the most part, it's all kind of. You're like, oh, this I know. I have one of these.
Okay.
I have one of these. But if you wanted a backup set, that is an option.
Yeah.
Always good to have backups. I
Do
don't
double
know.
the woodworking.
I don't know. Will you buy them for me?
You probably don't have any money, do you?
My eyes just like
Are you talking to the clerk?
no.
Oh, he's Scribaz in another part of the. They're
that's
talking to
right,
the
food.
to the guy
I
over there.
find Shkaba
He just run off, and the guy's like, I guess I'll put these back then.
and I'm holding them. No, I'm holding them all.
Oh, okay,
And then I just
gotcha.
like Puss in Boots style.
I see what you're saying. So she just comes up wordlessly pouting towards you.
Turn my back.
It's okay. I have some similar ones. It's trying to make it better.
It's only a gold. He goes off. The whole thing.
I'm like a child about it, is what I'm doing. I'm trying to pretend like, Daddy, buy these for me.
And then they got the smaller bits, so you can do real intricate carving.
How am I ever going to become a master woodcarver?
Yeah.
Set them down there. We'll get back to it later. We got to figure out the rations first.
We do need to discuss.
Scurry over the
pricing.
counter.
Sure. And more or less he points at a box, and there's just like there's 3 empty boxes sitting there, and he just kind of points and throw it in there, and that seems to be like I want to purchase this, so I'm going to put it off to the side.
Perfect.
Rivos, so you got your mess kit?
Yep. I'm looking around for daggers.
Oh, it's pretty easy to find. There is a wall of weaponry. It's not very big, but there's a weapon rack hung on the wall, a barrel with like spears in it, a barrel with arrows in it. It's not a lot, and it's not super well made. It looks like there's a lot of things that people just sold that were like, oh, I found this, and then sell it, or like, I don't need this anymore. And
I
need
noticed
food instead.
the spears as well, so I
Sure.
picked the best one of the lot
Yeah,
just to have an extra.
that works.
And
There's a couple of good ones in there. There's actually a pack of javelins as well that are there. They're in a almost like a quiver kind of thing.
perfect. I'll grab those as well as
Sure.
the best spear I can find in the mix.
Absolutely. The spear that you have, it's a heavier one. It's a hardwood, and then a pretty well made, but not flashy spear tip.
All right, but like got all this stuff.
For
and
sure.
I'll go up to the counter.
Right. And there is a. Did you want a dagger as well?
No, I forgot all about that.
Got it. Here's-
Nope, no, this will do.
right. Okay. You still have the armor, don't you, from the
I do.
the dead guy?
Yeah.
Show that.
That'll work. All right, so bring all that up, and he points at a box and has you put it all in there.
But I look around for everyone else.
Oh, and I think they're
Yeah,
right
we
there.
pretty
Yeah,
much
we're
just
there,
like
yeah.
standing
I'm
there.
down here.
Oh, hi. Okay. Are you all ready? I've got what I need.
Well, Rivals, there's, with the refugees and all that, the price of rations has gone up quite a bit.
I imagine so.
So, just trying to decide if this is the best choice for this, since Shkaba and I both need.
I don't have to get the tools.
You know, we could just hunt for food.
Well, I can't, but you.
I can hunt for us.
All right, well.
We'll slow travel a bit, but not, depending on how you do it, but not too much.
All right, maybe just until we get to something that's a little more reasonable.
I still have a good amount of rations as
All
well,
right.
and I believe Isgala has some, so we should be able to get through. There's
You'll have 4 days worth of stockpile, essentially, for everybody, except for Sunny, who has 6 days worth, because booze is your food.
So
We're gonna
We'll
go to the
worry about
tavern
that
next, right?
when we need to. I think we're okay for now.
All right, that seems like a good plan. Then Shkaba, is that okay?
Yeah, I guess so. I mean,
Just until we get to the next place.
What do you have there? There's this one.
I'm gonna.
Look, so I can carve things in wood.
Like, can you make these? I point at the javelins.
As long as you had the tips, sure. I mean, that's not even something that'd be difficult because you have the proficiency in it.
Yeah.
You wouldn't really have to roll anything for it.
So you can, if these break, you can fix them.
Well, sure, they're not that hard to fix.
More or less.
you're usually just like
Right.
steel tipped shafts,
Yep,
right?
pretty much. So she'd just take the tip off and then have to make a new shaft and done.
You can do that.
Yeah,
That's impressive.
what do you think?
My people would appreciate that craftsmanship.
I'm not gonna keep putting tips on it if you keep stabbing yourself in the leg, though.
I just do that with
That's
my
what the
spear.
dagger is for.
Um,
They have a
Actually, that's a much better idea. I didn't think of that.
We'll keep the, you know, hurting ourselves
right now.
to
You see
quiet.
the goblin sitting there is like,
Right.
and he's not too far away from you guys. He's just watching from his little stool.
Stupid.
Does he need?
Nope, it's fine. He's all right.
Where do you keep your rations by chance? I just want to see what you have.
Boy. You see the guy come over. He goes, yep. What's up, Pa? How many rations we got? He goes, I don't know. Enough. How many do you guys need?
I thought there was a shortage.
Yeah,
There is.
but you know.
Jeremy's fine with our plan. This is all Shkaba. He's Birdman. I don't know if he has different
Look
needs.
at them.
The-
That's all,
the-
you know.
The guy that he ends up saying Pa was the clerk. He looks like he's well into adulthood, probably has kids of his own kind of thing. And then this is the grandfather, which for goblin culture is that guy is old as fuck because goblins don't live super long. So he's the fact that he's got to this age is good for him. But he's like, we got to keep it under wraps a little bit. You know, we can't be like, yeah, we've got blah blah blah, we have this much over here, and then have somebody come on in. You know,
Also,
you
they-
said they were charging more.
They are,
yeah.
but they are helping my people, and that is something that, you know, I understand.
I was charging extra for food helping anyone
That's a good point, yeah.
other than the person selling.
No, I'm charging outsiders. Sorry, it's we take care of our people. We do what we can, but we got to make a profit.
Your people.
Sure, I'll sell some to you. Same regular price. Why not? Don't want any trouble here.
I have my own rations. These are just for me.
No,
Okay.
No trouble at all.
No,
And
no,
I
yeah.
apologize.
Five silver
All right.
per ration. How many
All
do you
right.
need? And he kind of like almost seems irritated. Just fine, whatever. But it's almost like a practiced irritation where this is something that he's dealt with before, where people come in and like a well-armored person is like, "Fuck you! I don't want to pay that." Like, fine, whatever, it's fine.
That's the goblin form of bartering.
Yeah.
Don't kill me. Just do it.
And it's not even necessarily a fear. Don't kill me. It's like, hey, this is not worth the trouble.
Yeah.
Right.
Just buy your shit and go. And the fact that you guys are buying other things appears to help.
Well,
Yeah.
in that case, I'll take 4 rations. and
4 total?
5 silver
All right.
piece. So,
He goes back and comes back with a sack.
all right.
Bird guy, what can I get you?
I'm okay now. I'm
Okay.
apparently an outsider, so I gotta pay more.
You're fine. She's buying.
Kind
of.
I'm an outsider.
Just,
That's
do you
why
want
I
the
gotta
rations or not?
Shkaba, the nice goblin is offering you something of value, limited time offer.
Yeah, basically.
Should be
Once you guys
kind.
leave, I don't really want you back in here. But
Well,
you
fine.
know.
That's fine. I was not going to plan on coming back. I will take 2.
here it is. And then he runs over and brings you a sack and drops it kind of into the box instead of handing it to you.
Pinche.
But
Did
it's
I-
Jeremy hands
Back.
in 2 gold pieces. That's 5.
Oh,
silver.
he hasn't taken
Oh, okay.
anything yet
Okay,
because
gotcha.
he's just bundling it
Got
all
it all
right
together.
now.
Okay.
Did I see
A lot of
where he
people,
ran off
they
to?
from what you can tell, barter with stuff. So
Right.
if they can look at all of the things that you're buying versus what you're selling, So if you guys have anything of interest that you think that they would want to buy, and you wouldn't mind parting with, then that's something that they could negotiate. But it all depends on their expertise and your way of selling it.
You've got this pack.
This is how a lot of medieval shops worked. But it wasn't necessarily like gold for gold or gold for goods
Right.
kind of thing. It was
Those in the bin.
like if you had chickens, you could sell chickens to these guys
were
and
already-
they would buy them.
Oh, and Jeremy actually is gonna look, and as everybody's getting situated, she's like, "Excuse me for just 1 second," and she's gonna
Yeah,
turn
all right.
around and walk
Goes
to
off
the
and-
other. Yeah.
It has a big old crate of stuff. It is, pardon me, excuse me, and goes around you, just wobbling back and forth, dropping things off. And the grandpa's just sitting there within earshot.
Jeremy wants to go into her backpack and pull out the fancy box that has the ink in it.
Sure.
And she's gonna switch her bad ink with the good ink, so
Sure.
the bad ink's in the nice
Yeah,
box,
yeah,
and just
absolutely.
kind of switched them and
Right.
just like looked around.
It's not
and-
necessarily bad, it's just lower
but
quality.
lower quality,
Yeah,
but yeah, she switches them and
Sure.
keeps the nice box with the old ones, and she's gonna turn back around.
Same with the paper, keeping the newer paper in
Yeah.
the box.
Newer paper out, gonna take new paper out, old paper,
Gotcha.
and
Sure,
switching
sure.
them.
I see what you're
switching
saying.
bits.
Yeah. All right, that makes sense.
And walk back to the group. And all right, are we all set, ready to purchase?
How much for all of this?
Oh, hold on. Comes running back over. So I probably should have been doing this math. He goes, all right, so gold for the carver's tools.
It's expensive.
Then we got the javelins. Hey, they're good quality, all right?
How many are in the bundle of javelins?
There's 6 javelins.
Does it come with a
Compact.
Yeah, it's
What would be
almost
the
like it's a
quiver for javelins?
yes, it's a leather, kind of beat up, and what appears to be a blood stain on it. But it's a kind of it sits on your side, like it's got a belt, and then it's got a
It's like
thing
a
that hangs
holster.
off. Yeah, that kind of thing. And so you pull it out. And, it looks like it's almost meant for somebody on horseback.
I managed to like.
Uh,
I'll mess with it later.
Gotcha. Do you have javelin price on there?
They're 5 silver pieces each.
Yep. So and that's what he
2.5
charged. He charged at market price for that kind of thing, because he's still making a profit off of it. Because when you sell it to him, he only give you like 2.5.
Cheapo.
And let's see here. You also bought a spear. So if you have that right there,
That's going to cost 1 gold piece.
1 gold. So you're at 3.5 gold right now. And what else was there? The mess kit.
Rations, then the mess kit.
And you only bought 6 rations, right?
Mess kit's 2 silver pieces. Rations are 5 silver pieces.
Yeah.
Yep. And they stuck with the 5 silver a piece, and there was only 6, right?
Yeah.
6 rations?
Yes.
Yes.
Got it. So that was that means it's a 3 gold. So you're 6 gold, 7 silver. That's what it comes out to.
And as he starts to ring everything up, Jeremy's gonna be like, "Oh, I almost,
He's like writing it down on a notepad, and he's like, all right, 6 and 7.
I almost forgot, and I'm so sorry. Long days of travel.
Uh-huh.
I was,
You as a service industry, you know
Yeah.
that. Yep.
I
ahead.
was a scribe in Terrari under sorry, out of character.
Ram.
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 Yeah, it's like Ram, but
Okay,
with
back
an
in character.
R-H-A-M.
Ram.
Kind of thing is how you
I
pronounce it.
was a Ram's apprentice.
Yeah, like
I
Ramstein. It's just without the Stein.
I've traveled here before for high quality ink and paper. Here you have a scribe as well, don't you?
Yeah.
Yeah, well, I did actually find out of her backpack she has this nice box. I did find some very high quality ink and paper. I think it was in a wizard's chamber of some kind. And, I don't really have much use for it. I mean, I was a assistant scribe, but I'm no longer obviously
Sure.
needed in that
All
regard.
right. Go ahead and make a persuasion check.
Please be what I want you to be.
Get it. Big rolls.
Natural 20.
Yeah. You got to take a photo of
So,
that.
yeah, it's a 28 altogether.
Oh, nice.
Yeah.
Brutal. He kind of like, and he looks around out, kind of out at the the shop and goes, "Hold on, Pops, watch the shop," and walks out of the front door.
Where is he going?
Well,
Are we done here? What the hell? I don't understand.
The trading things for things. It's very goblin.
He'll be back.
As long as Pops is
He's checking on
preoccupied,
something.
I'm going to.
Again, great for spells.
Oh
good
yeah,
for
yeah.
trading.
I'm sure. Great for spells. Yep.
Cool.
Absolutely.
I'm gonna go keep looking around.
Yeah, you go ahead.
Yeah.
Just don't take anything.
This gotta be stated.
Do my pockets look big
so
to you?
No, I'm just saying.
Okay.
After a few minutes, what feels like an eternity for you guys is just waiting in the shop for this guy to come back. And then the guy keeps going, keep looking, go ahead. We're not done here. Go ahead and look for whatever you want. You
Okay.
need something, you let me know.
Thank you.
Do you want to actually steal something?
Yeah. Where were the rations at?
The rations are in the back room, from what you can tell. Yep. It looks like you did that on purpose. Behind it looks like there's almost like a curtain thing of what looks like almost like burlap. It's got holes in it and what have you. But then back behind there, you do know there are doors because you can kind of see a little bit back there. So there's a door on the right, door on the left, and then what appears to be a stairwell that goes up.
All right. Does he have like a whip type thing laying around?
Go ahead and make an investigation.
Yeah. Okay. Let's see what we got here.
Try and suss out where it logically would be placed.
8.
So as you're looking around, you find the weapons, and you're like, doesn't look like there's any whips in that area.
Yikes.
Maybe check home furnishings.
It's like when you go to a hardware store, you're like, why the fuck is this here? It doesn't make any sense.
Okay.
Bedroom
Cheat.
accessories.
Yeah. He's yeah. No, I guess that's all I really was looking for then.
Okay, doke. All right, come on back, and then eventually he comes on in and goes, whew, sorry, I had to go check with a friend here. And actually, I probably should have been looking this up while I was fucking around. What you gonna do? Wait a little bit longer as he catches his breath.
1 ounce bottle of ink, just standard, is 10 gold pieces.
Yes, but there's another thing happening.
It's pretty good though. I didn't think it was gonna be that much for just regular ink, but hey, I'm
Yeah.
going big. Let's go big.
Go big or go home.
That's right. It's actually my first crit, like a good crit success in since we all started this. So
Nice.
Jeremy's on the board. Woo woo.
We should get kindergarten style. They're putting stars up for crits.
Right. And I finally got my first star.
Gold stars and like.
This is a good one to roll it on.
Red circles with marker.
Oh, I got a couple of those. Yeah.
Or like thumbs down stickers. Something like that.
How many vials of ink was that? Paper.
It was a very nice bottle of ink, one bottle, and then.
Oh, I'm sorry. I don't know if I mentioned that before. It was 4 bottles of ink in there.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, that was all kind of laid out. But I in my head I had mentioned that, but they're small, so it's like the 1 ounce things. But
Okay.
there's 4 of them.
Okay.
So 4 ounces of ink, and then a shitload of paper.
Okay, she's gonna. It's still her one bigger ink bottle that's kind of like positioned
Basically,
in there.
put that in there and took the rest of them out, kind of thing.
Yeah, and
That'll
then
work.
the 10 pieces of regular parchment paper.
Sure. How many ounces of ink? Like I get 1 bottle, but how many?
4.
4.
Yes, I know.
Okay. All right. Well. And he kind of looks looks at you for a
I
moment.
could go and talk to the scribe myself. Maybe he would
You're
give
right.
me a better offer, and but I thought you could maybe convince him to buy it off of you.
And that's my thought as well. Tell you what, let's do 300 gold for the box.
I'm absolutely. I think that's what it's worth.
Are they speaking in Goblin or?
Oh no, halfling. Yep.
Yeah, that seems like
perfect.
a great trade.
Did you
We're
say
doing
He
business
goes
with
over
you.
and he comes over and he hands you
300 as well. Pretty sure.
Oh,
he
and-
hands you 30 platinum pieces.
Oh, and if you want,
cool.
for, I don't know if you're including the items, but if you wanted to, just take that out of the,
Oh, yeah, yeah.
obviously
And he-
make it a nice, even, clean
Sure. Yeah,
trade.
he goes and trades it all out and stuff like that, and
Perfect.
then hands you the
Ah.
change. So
All right.
yes, you guys got 300 gold, and it was
How much was...
but minus the 6.7 there, so it
Okay.
ended up being numbers.
293.3.
Right, that's the one.
293 gold, 3 silver.
Show off.
Wow. That's a lot of money.
Jeremy, Weiss.
All right. Well, I gotta run. You guys have a good day.
Absolutely, yes.
All right.
Great doing
And you see
business
him
with you.
walk out the
Hasta
front door.
luego.
Okay, so
Let's also go maybe to the tavern, or we can go back and check with Isgalin, see how they're doing. That was, maybe drop some stuff off if we need to. Probably should go now though.
I don't know.
Yes, we can walk and talk. I agree.
Have a good day.
Thank you.
I just don't so much when I don't feel very good.
I just like grab my
feel
stuff and
very
start walking out the
Sure.
door.
Oh yeah.
It's like putting it all wherever I can.
Yeah. So the thing holds the 6, and then it has some room for possibly.
Six? 5. I said 5.
I said 6.
Did you say 6?
Yep.
Okay.
I think, and that's how much I put down.
6 is
for
good.
that.
6 is
Yeah.
6 is better than 5.
It has enough room for that, and it looks like it can fit 10 total. Almost done.
Oh, okay.
So it looks like the thing can. It's almost like a box kind of the deal, and it looks like it can fit 2 rows of 5, and they all kind of just sit with gravity. But on the very very bottom, there's a almost like it looks like leather, and then underneath of it is some sort of soft wood, maybe a cork or something like that it stabs into and keeps it in place.
Nice. Very effective.
Yeah, I weirdly looked up how quivers kind of work and stuff like that for things of that nature, and yeah, that's not always how that worked, but sometimes.
Cool.
Works out pretty well. All right, so
right.
spinning tops over there.
It's a
So
die.
once you guys exit,
All right. Well, that was successful. We should probably wrap up business pretty quickly here if we're going to do it. I'm sure we can find the crema somewhere around here. I should have asked them about the crema. Darn it. She's
I
done
like
talking now.
grab Jeremy by the shoulders.
What is what you're doing illicit? Or
Oh, fair trades. These didn't check.
make a deception, make an insight, because this would be something outside of your character's knowledge. Normally, I don't like rolling in between the things, but this is
Well,
Ribos
10.
truly not understanding, and then
Like,
Jeremy
that's a
truly
lot of
trying to.
money. I'm a
And so
rivalist.
you don't know what Jeremy did, but you know that Jeremy somehow did something that she wasn't supposed to.
It was something to do with the Inca cut that
Yep.
much.
Oh yeah,
right?
and it was
So-
basically like, where she's like, it was a fair trade. It was their fault for not looking, and you're like,
That doesn't seem fair.
it seemed like she ripped this guy off.
actually, new thought, Ribos. I think we should go directly to somebody who sells carts and maybe animals, and we should go right there, right now. We have money now. Let's go there now, and grab cart, grab maybe animals, and then we can go. I think that's great.
I'm gonna pick up a
What was my
stick
insight
that's
versus
nearby.
the,
Oh, you won.
Yep.
Yeah. So
Oh, I did.
you got the.
Yeah.
the
So
So
yeah,
you
I
know
did
I'm
that.
not
you know that Jeremy did not do
right by
the
these
moral
people.
thing there. Yes.
is this some other weird goblin thing?
Yes.
It's okay for you to cheat your people. You can cheat your people. The
Look.
moment I do something out of the ordinary, I am doing something terrible.
Ribos, this is an investment. They're gonna thank me later because we're gonna help all of them in the long run if we can get through this. So the
I
faster.
wanted to hunt to help your people.
Yes,
at the
again,
village.
long-term solutions. That's what I'm all about.
It was good to know
So
one.
they are, giving us a little bit of a deposit, and then we're gonna, run with it, and then we'll come back and we'll help them all.
Look at how great these new tools are. Aren't they really cool? So like this one I had before and I could kind of make this little notch, but now this one does this. Look, Ribos, see?
It's like a piece of bark that she picked up off the ground. Like,
I am
hey.
improving my skills so I can help you.
It's very good.
Okay, so anyway,
it
and then
for a
if I do
go.
it like this, and I'm just gonna like lead
Just
her
keep
this
talking,
way.
right? Oh, yeah.
Like,
That'll work.
This is
Oh.
the way they were, right? We're
Where-
going this way? Okay, let's go.
Where are you heading to next?
Sunny, I think we should go to the stables.
Yeah, over
sounds
here.
good.
All right,
There are
yeah.
stables, but they are not
Yeah,
like
you
they're
know,
not a sell horse kind of stables. They are
Okay.
just
Yes.
attached to the tavern.
Okay.
Yes.
But
Okay.
you can go there.
Right.
Where the drunks pass out.
Yep.
Right
Go to the tavern.
Sure.
Sounds
You
like
do
our
notice
plan.
in the stables. I mean, it's got a pretty expansive stables for being because that's also their room. So they just built like another one. They're like, yeah, this works. Fuck it. People have nowhere else to go. Why not? And there are a bunch of horses in there. They look like they have all the tack in the stall with them, and weirdly enough, there's some sort of cloth also in the thing, but there's just a lot of horses from what you remember. These are also like where people sleep, so you're like, wow, there's a lot of people here.
No
right now.
vacancy.
It's like pulling up to where you work and there's a bunch of cars and you're like,
Oh, God.
and then you go in and no one's in there. That's kind of what happens because you walk into the tavern and there's like two people hanging out. One of them is the barkeep. It's a slender, very tall, elvish man. It has a kind of a wispy bit of beard going on, and is more or less he has a mug of something for himself and just. Oh, if you need a place to stay, or do you need some booze?
Actually, looking for somebody that might want to sell a horse and maybe a carriage.
Oh, you're in luck. That's me.
Really?
Yep.
Well,
What
destiny
are
is in
the
our
You see all
favor.
those horses out there?
Crazy.
Yeah, I own all of them. I don't have enough feed or care to feed them or any expertise in horses, but they're mine. So
Wonderful. Do you happen to have a carriage for sale,
Nope.
or anyone around here who might want to sell a larger carriage? You must know
you
a
can
lot
talk
of
to the
people in
crema.
town. Right.
How many horses?
You want
I
to
don't know.
talk
There's,
to the
there's,
crowd.
there's like
I mean,
6 out
tradition.
there.
I do. I
Yeah.
do.
Yeah, they were from
There's a lot of
when
horses.
Tanari got ran over. We gathered us some men. We went out and to see what we
I'm
could
like
see.
looking
And
at everybody and looking.
we got a bunch of horses out of it. So hey, windfall for us.
I'll speak in Elvish to him.
Sure.
Old man, do not be insensitive. This goblin is from that village. Her family is perished.
She speaks back and back. I'm very sorry to hear that. In Elvish back. Like, so, yeah, we were looking for survivors and brought a bunch of refugees back, and also brought horses, which I now own.
Well, thank you for
We could own them
taking
now.
care. Absolutely. Actually,
He looks. You can see him looking at Rybos like,
yes. Well,
I'll
we.
just talk right over Jeremy in Elvish.
right.
She has more claim to those horses than you.
He kind of shrugs and he take it up with the crema in halfling.
I'm taking it up with you.
And he sets the thing down and he goes, I don't want to have to ask you to leave because I don't like asking people to leave.
Can you point me in the direction of the crema?
Sure. He sets it down at the bar and walks out of the bar past you guys and he kind of squeezes around Rybos. It doesn't shoulder check him or anything like that. Just
I don't react at all.
Yep. Then, but it's almost like a cheerful ignoring. If that makes sense.
You.
It's kind of a kill him with kindness situation. Or just all right, let's come on out here and points down the. He's like down that way. You make a left. There's a hut, big one.
Oh, wonderful.
Almost looks like it's 2 stories, but it's not.
Oh, very nice. Of course, that's where he would be.
Don't you start.
I didn't say anything.
This is exactly what I hate about elves.
Okay.
Oh.
Shut
I think
up.
now I'm gonna have to actually ask you. Unless you want to buy the horses, I'll sell them to you right now.
Do you know if I'm looking for a caravan and I would like to purchase one, but any of the ones in town, are they single or double
Oh
horse?
no, the ones that the caravans, that the Pumbari caravan, they're
Yes.
they're out.
They're out?
I mean, they're way somewhere. I don't know where they're at. They'll be
There's no
they'll
way.
be here at the end of the season.
There's enough horses.
I'll walk outside muttering to myself.
Yep, you
And then
have a
walk
good one.
away from the old man. And
Right, sure. Have a good one, my
All right.
orc friend.
How much do you want for your horses that are costing you more to feed than anything?
Well, And he
And
kind
they were
of
probably your horses too, right?
rubs his chin.
You know, it would be nice to have some of Tarari with me.
These are, from my understanding, fine war horses.
This is a stables area,
Yeah.
right? So there's probably like horse
Oh,
troughs.
yeah, for
I'll
sure.
go right to the nearest horse trough that's with water in it,
Sure.
muttering to myself in Elvish,
Sure.
and just like start washing myself. Like,
Fucking God damn it.
yeah.
Shh, be
He's
quiet.
got an anger problem, doesn't he?
He's had a long day.
Yeah, well, haven't we all? All right, well, tell you what. 100 gold apiece.
For a horse?
Yep.
All right. Sounds like a good plan. You know, I might be just shy.
Oof, that's rough. How
how
much?
shy?
How shy? How shy?
Let's see. How about 2 gold pieces shy for 3 horses? Fair?
Sure.
All right.
Yep.
Great. And she actually passes off the
Right.
money she just, and then the
Takes it
remainder of her actually gold
Ties
pieces.
it onto his
and-
belt. Yep. Yeah, it's a good deal. All right. He goes over and he grabs the bit of the basically the lead of 3, pulls out a horse, pulls out another horse, pulls out the last one, and hands the reins to you. None of them have saddles.
Okay. Right.
And then he's like, "All right, well, good doing business with you.
You know
Please don't let your
anywhere-
friend in again."
No, of course. He won't be coming back.
I walk up at this point, it's like sopping wet.
You feeling better, buddy?
As good as I'm going to feel, I think.
It's fair.
Horses.
Yes. they
Horses.
Fantastic. That is all we need from you. Is there a place to get saddles anywhere by chance before we leave? Just
I've got some.
how
They
much?
should come with the horses, you know.
are. I imagine they
How are we
probably
supposed
came
to-
with the horses in the first.
They're- I got them with the horses. That's sure. Yeah, that's for sure. But I just sold you fine, well-bred war horses for
That
100
were
gold
already
apiece.
hers.
No, they weren't.
Prove it.
They weren't yours.
I
came
I
from the
have them. The
village.
crema. I talked to the crema. He said I could have them. You bring it up with him. That's
you
how
know
it works
what?
around here. You know how it works around here.
I understand
Don't worry
completely.
about
This
the
was
saddle. We'll get
this
the
was just
saddles
fine.
later.
Yes, I agree. I'm sorry for troubling you.
No, you're fine.
Great doing business with you, though.
Yep, absolutely.
All
Yeah,
right.
you have a good day.
Great. Let's go
You're
back.
okay with this?
Yes.
A typical, if you do want the saddles, 10 gold apiece.
We'll come back for them later.
I'm
Huh?
out now.
Have you ever ridden a horse?
Jimmy gets flashed.
Flashback to like.
It's like goes to kick her in the head. Oh
No, but I could figure it out.
It's much harder without a saddle.
I could come back for them later.
All right. Well, does
Don't worry.
somebody have 10 gold pieces?
I don't have that much.
Because I spent all my money on the horses, so.
no! And he's like, "Well, you guys have a good day," and heads back in.
You
Yeah.
know the dead have no possessions, right?
I just like get a little intimidated by Ribos at this point. It's just like, what do you want me to do, Ribos? I'm trying to make this work, but I can only pull so much. And she's like holding on to the
I'll grab one of the bridles,
Oh,
start leading.
I was just like having an anxiety attack next to these horses. Like,
Any of you are proficient in animal handling?
No.
Oh.
Most people aren't. Okay. Based on what you guys have seen and all that, they're horses. They're pretty well tamed. You know what I mean? Like, they're not-
trained.
yeah. They don't seem like they're pulling on you or anything like that.
Maybe you can
Anyone
talk
with
to the
nature,
grandma.
knowledge nature.
I have nature
Go ahead and roll.
and come from a. I mean, I imagine that orcs probably ride horses at times.
Oh yeah.
I will use my inspiration.
Yeah, use them.
That's a little better anyway. I have 13 total.
You do feel as you're distracted, one of your ancestors is pulling on you, and it's like, those aren't war horses.
Of course they're not.
Like, those aren't big enough. They're probably fight, or they won't fight, but they'll not run away in a fight maybe. But
Okay, that's good.
it's not meant for. And this is whatever accent they'd be talking in. So you pick an ancestor who this would be applicable to. But more or less, what they tell you is these probably won't run in combat but depending on how well the rider handles it. But a war horse that's trained will also trample over enemies and stuff like that. So it's not that these are bad horses; they're just probably not meant for combat, not bred for it. But they could be trained for combat.
It must. It's.
But they're good riding horses, from what you can tell.
Rivals, are you mad at me?
No. I am confused, however.
Okay, well that's all right. We can.
It's whatever happened at the store, and now this person is taking advantage of you. It just seems.
It all evens out at the end of the day, Rivals.
Is this your culture? These are not war horses.
No.
Even you knew that.
They're horses. What do you want from me, Rivals? I did a thing. I did another thing. It evens out to be, somewhat in the middle thing.
Okay.
All right. We don't have horses.
There's
no
enough
that.
chatter in my head.
Jeremy's anxieties.
I feel like both of them are equally anxious, and just manifesting in different ways. Right.
So you're gonna go talk to the grandma,
Grandma, which would be actually like probably your interpretation of what a grandma
more or
is.
less.
Right,
Yeah.
that's how I've been taking it.
Yeah, as you should. Well, I think we've done enough for right now. Maybe we should go back and check on Esgalen. I think that would be appropriate and get out of town a
I
little
would
bit.
prefer being outside of the trappings of society for a minute.
Wonderful. Let's take a break and we'll have to discuss our options.
I'll
Alright,
just start walking that way, dragging
Sure.
the horse.
All right. Drag the horse over, and you see Isgallen is polishing her weapons and generally taking care of her gear. And, three horses.
That's what we need, right?
You can
I don't need no horse. What do I need horse for?
Well, yeah, you ride together, as usual. I kind of figured you flying wouldn't be an issue, and then, yeah,
I mean, you're kind of small. So
I.
We can make this work.
And then you and the Brentwilf.
No, we do have to.
Can
we
can
have-
we hook this cart up to the horse?
A little too small.
It's both too small and too light. It's
Maybe she is
got like
called
very
for
wide,
saddles. Could be.
almost slats in it, and it seems to be made out of pine. It's it's gonna fall apart if it moves too quick, but it's good for moving rocks.
Maybe we can trade this cart.
Now you are thinking, Rivals. That's the goblin way. Yes. But
That doesn't
I-
seem like
Trade
the
this
way.
card. It's her people.
and maybe
His
it'll be
people?
enough to
His people, her people, their people,
our people.
our people, not our people.
Our people. And like Jeremy, like Randall is like, yes, one people.
The people.
Great.
Can we trade this for the saddles we need?
I don't know trading with the elf man, but maybe if we catch the shop before other things happen, that might work, and it might give us enough for saddles if we want them.
You seem to be able to get more than things are worth.
I'm pushing my luck a little bit, but maybe.
What would be an appraisal check?
Ooh.
Right? Like intelligence?
Right?
Some kind of intelligence. Yeah.
Right?
Investigation. Go ahead.
Okay.
Why not? Investigation doesn't get enough love sometimes, so fuck it. We'll just throw it in there.
19.
This thing's probably worth not a lot. Maybe half of what the saddle would be, if that. You know what I
Just
mean?
like, it's 10 gold
you
per
could get,
saddle,
You
right?
could get a gold easy.
Okay.
But getting 5 gold, you'd have to really work somebody.
Maybe Isgala has some. I mean,
Well,
we
let me look it up just to make sure.
You said
We
you
bought
could
the horses.
get
We
them later.
should,
Does it mean you have some money?
I don't want to ask her.
I've got money, yes.
So a cart,
that's
like a
not what I
big
was
cart,
going
like a
to
200-pound cart, would be 15 gold.
Okay.
This is
Quarter
more
of
of a
that?
like, yeah,
I didn't
it's
like him much
it's
anyway.
I figured.
like a wheelbarrow. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Let's see, wheelbarrow. We'll type that into the internet. See how it goes. Hand cart. That's what. It would
There
be.
it is.
Jesus. Oh, that's not what I wanted to do. Nope. Stop. Stupid tablet. All right. Hand cart. We're gonna go with 5 gold because you can't find anything.
It's probably about right. A quarter of a,
Oh yeah.
big
Carts
cart.
and vehicles. Oh, standard carts 15 gold.
Yes.
Yeah, 5 gold.
So and that's if you're buying it
I
off
think
the
a
market.
wheelbarrow
If you're
is in
selling it to
the
somebody,
books.
2.5 is probably where you're
I feel
roughly
like I
gonna get.
remember seeing it somewhere.
Probably
Well-
a Xanathar's guide or something.
I'm not sure that the cart is going to subsidize anything really that much, but it was 10 gold pieces per saddles.
We can just take them.
What?
We need to get.
Thank you.
We need to get him to where we're going. And
I'm kind of sneaky.
how much did you?
but
How
they're
much did you pay for
probably
these
heavy.
horses?
100 apiece.
A little too much, eh?
Too much.
Yeah.
And
Well,
they
what?
didn't even include the saddles.
You bought the saddles. We'll put it that
Well,
way.
I didn't get them, so what
No,
are we going to do?
You paid for the saddles, even if you don't have them.
These horses were from her village. This old man elf, he's a terrible man.
So wait, he went in and stole them from somewhere?
No.
When her
Or,
village was
um,
raised, he ended up with the horses and now he's selling them back to one of the people
Wh-
from the
why-
village. That's not
I
right.
mean,
Why-
granted,
why
the
were
money
they-
I spent wasn't really my money, but yeah, I
Whose money
understand the
was
point.
it? And she like checks her own pocket.
Well, no, that's not, that's not important. It was here nor there, but I don't miss it too much.
So why was he
All I'm really
in the town?
saying
Was he
is
there to
that
loot, or was
I-
he what was he doing in your burnt out village?
That's a good fucking question.
I'm assuming refugees and come in with
Well-
things and sell and trade. You know how they
So
are.
he comes in, he saves some refugees, he gets some horses. It seems like a fair deal to me.
It doesn't
But-
seem right to me.
Now,
but
if somebody
all I'm
wants to
really
go
getting
back-
at is if you want to take them,
I'm
Take
for
them?
I'm for taking them.
I am fine with that.
All right, Jeremy does not. Ari's done enough taking from her people today, and
Yeah.
I don't feel great about it.
I think you paid for them.
This,
What-
man,
what-
this man has taken from your people, your village,
Eh.
in their strife. He's taken advantage.
I disagree, but
Well,
we
okay.
can disagree.
You want to take them. Now, how do we take them? And
Just walk up and take them.
Exactly.
Here, give me 5 minutes. Meet me at the road.
Here we
Okay.
go. Let's go.
I don't ask questions.
I'm gonna just start petting and playing
You're not
with the
coming.
horses.
You come.
Oh, okay. I will go, I guess.
Right, I'll grab the body and drape
Right.
it over one of the horses, take my cloak back,
For sure.
and
And she,
start leading
puts
the one
the-
horse over to the road.
Puts the body on top of the horse. Sorry, wait, what did you?
Yeah, that's what
Gat,
I
what-
put the body on the horse.
on the horse. Yeah, I
Took
said.
my cloak back,
Right.
started leading
Sure,
the
sure.
horse toward the road where she wants us to meet her.
I for some reason I just nothing what you said came through, and I was like, wait,
Welcome
hold
to
on.
my world.
Right. It happens sometimes. What you gonna do?
Yeah, I
Welcome
get
to
that.
So-
Most of my day.
late evening D&D. Yeah.
So the all right, and ends up being like, okay, so here's the plan. And you walk up, nice and calm,
Oh, yeah.
pick it up, and just run.
Run?
That's all I want you to do. Pick it up and run as fast as you can,
You want me to run?
or fly.
Oh, okay. I was gonna
Doesn't
say.
run is
Híjole.
you do whatever you need to do to get away.
Oh. I mean, that's what I was going
Okay.
to do in the first place.
All right, you go far up the road,
Jay?
far, where no one can hunt you down, and then go into the woods or behind a rock or something. We'll find you.
Oh,
Look for us.
right.
Okay.
Yes.
All right, and then saunters on in. Heads on into town. You guys are heading up the road.
Yep.
And after a while of going on, you do see where there's almost like a crossroads sign that it is more or less just pointing, hey, you're in the right spot. Like here's the place and here's the next place past that. But it's not really a fork in the road. It's just here's, you are in the right spot. You followed the road long enough. Now you're out of town. She has you go to that sign quite a ways down, and then goes up to. It kind of is like walks into town, and then turns to you and goes, "Wait 1 minute.
Oh, okay.
Count to 30." Walks away. And after that 30 seconds or so, Yizgalan had walked up to the inn and went inside. And Yeah. What does Shkaba do?
Just walk over to the stables, check out the horses, and then just, oh, this is a nice saddle, and
Yeah.
another
So you just-
saddle.
And they're if you've ever picked up a saddle, they're big. What is your carrying what is your strength?
Ooh. Not very good, so. 13.
All right.
Yeah.
Stronger than average.
It's like can't talk.
So I
Bench
might
press me
snatch up one of these
3
horses
times
as
over.
well.
So let's see here. What equipment do you have on you, including armor?
Not very much. I have this small pack of potions, a little belt.
Oh, this wouldn't be that big a deal. So this thing, when you pick it up, it's like 25 pounds when you lift it up. You're like, I should be able to fly with this because you don't have really much else going on with you. If you had a bunch of armor and weaponry and stuff like that that was on top of what would be outside of the normal, then that would be an issue, but it shouldn't be for you.
Yeah.
And then you hear as the door slams open and you see Goblin, thief, and runs at you. What do you do?
I guess, fuck it, I just fly away. Fuck it.
Right? So fly. Which direction do you fly? Over the stable, over the inn, off to the side? Where at?
The which way would be closest to where she? told me?
Oh, sorry. So
Basically
the
just-
orientation here would be over top of north way would be the stables, south would be the inn, or I
Okay.
guess the tavern, and there's a kind of a gap in between.
Yeah. All right, so I just fly over the stables
Sure.
into the woods.
And she does come up and runs faster than you thought she was going to, and catches or goes to take an actual punch at you. 14?
Crazy. No.
Nope.
Nice.
So misses as you duck underneath of it and then fly away.
I can see like a bird like freaking out, all the feathers like.
Oh yeah. she turns around and like you see her look over
Sorry.
the thing,
No,
and
it's
then
fine.
the elven guy
I'm
comes running
sweating
out,
on you.
and she taps him and points,
No.
and you can hear her yell, "He won't get far." And then she points, and you don't hear what she says past that, and then you're cresting over top of the thing, and you do see the guy running out of the town and pointing and like pointing at you and like, oh, what the fuck? Like you're stealing my shit,
Yeah.
kind of thing, and then eventually just kind of stops in defeat and turns around and heads back in.
That's what I thought.
Woo!
Well,
All
Can't
right.
So
fly
one
faster
saddle.
than me.
so you guys see Shkaba come cresting over top of you guys with a saddle in his claws, just and do you just drop it on them?
No, not on them.
Here you go.
Here.
Like he hits a horse.
I was gonna say it takes out a horse.
Kills the horse.
Oh, but you do
Guess we only
find
need one saddle after all.
kind of an area where you can hide behind for a little while,
Yeah.
where it's just this thicket of woods, and stay there. And you see you guys so kind of come up and be like, where did he go? But you see your friends come walking up.
Skaba,
I have the saddle. I only have the one though.
we have 2 horses.
3.
3 horses.
Let me tell you something. Isgala, she had this weird plan. She came at me. She tried to hit me. Oh, híjole.
She missed.
She's gonna find out. Oh, yes, she did. Yes, she did.
You're quicker than you look.
Maybe she has plan. Maybe she has plan to get other saddles
You
potentially.
know, in my head, as I was flying away, I was like, she could have used me as bait. She's probably got the other 2. But then I'm like, you know what? I don't know. I don't know where she at.
Well,
It,
She's
About-
a smart hunter.
20 minutes
Jeez.
later, which is way longer than it should have taken her to get to the position where you guys are at. You do see her coming over with one saddle up on a shoulder, and then one she's kind of has at her side, walking around from the side from one of the foothills. He goes, throws one on the ground, and it goes, saddles.
how you do?
I knew it.
Bait.
It's all coming together. You're right.
Puts the saddle on, and you guys are all saddled up and ready to go.
That's a great plan.
And that's where we're on it.
How did that shit work out? What the hell just
Yeah.
happened, guys?
It's basically she sat down in the
Yeah.
tavern, got a mug of ale, and
Knew it.
when she saw Shkaba going to take it, she ran out and tried to hit him,
Right.
and then was like, "You go that way, I'll go this way." And he ran around the corner. She picked up both saddles and walked off.
My girl. That's what's
So
up.
you guys got. She couldn't carry 3 of them because she didn't have enough
She
hands.
could have.
So send Shkaba to grab 1.
Wow.
Perfect.
What a sweet session. I loved it. It was really fun.
Very nice.
Now we have everything we
Ponies.
need.
Yep, you have all
Hopefully.
the stuff.
Maybe.
You should have. So what was it? You have,
Losing
you have
confidence.
4 days worth of rations, and you have
Yes.
2, right?
Yes.
Alrighty.
I have no more money. I have no money whatsoever.
Is that what you call that stuff?
You rip that dude
I know,
off
empty pockets.
bad. It's hilarious.
I
like to a tenfold amount. Yeah.
Nice.
Like what you had was maybe 40, 50 gold worth of stuff, and yeah.
No, when you said it, I was like,
yeah.
oh, I'll take it. Yeah. That's how we're going to play.
And
Great.
he was ripping you off.
Yeah.
Cause
Right.
was kind of the thing. So he thought he was getting the better end of that deal, and
Dude,
Nice
it was
job.
so funny. Nice job, everyone. That was a bunch of
Beautiful.
teamwork that was going on there. That was crazy.
all right. So you guys had, let's say that whole thing took an hour. So just to give you a bit of a time frame that you guys are at, 16, 24.
Are we still
30.
recording or did you stop?
Oh no, we're still recording. Yep.
Okay.
32 and 33. So you're at 33 hours. So a day and
A couple hours.
basically a day and a half is how much time you've spent out of the 10 days.
Yeah.
So there you
Okay.
go. And then
Perfect.
it should take about 6-ish days of travel, or 5-ish days of travel, depending on circumstances. So to get to the spot, so you should be able to make it there in the recommended time.
All right.
Beautiful.
Awesome. Well, this was awesome. Hope you guys enjoyed. And yeah, we'll see you next week for a new episode.
Yes. Our next one will be coming out next Monday, and that one will be a little bit shorter.
Little bit.
But yeah, because we gotta move some time
some stuff.
slots
Do some
around.
time.
Just
Crunching.
time stuff.
Yep, and then
Alright.
yeah, so we'll see you then. We'll have the name
Perfect.
up here, but I think I have one for
Oh,
you guys, but
sweet.
I don't want to spoil it. here.
Yeah. You guys will
See,
know
if you say it
tomorrow.
now,
Right,
they'll,
yeah.
they'll already know it before they get to this part.
That's the joke.
Perfect.
But yeah, you guys
All
have
right.
a good night.
All right. We'll see you next
See you
week.
later. Bye.